Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Mentally Gone Reacts. My name is Callie Lacerda.
And I'm Gabriela Lopes.
And we are back on the official Mentally Gone Marvel saga series journey, yeah.
And today is Monday, so
Today's
it's
Monday.
Marvel Monday.
Marvel Monday. It's been 10 months since we watched Iron Man, the first Iron Man. And then 6 months from today, we watched The Incredible Hulk. And today we are getting into Iron Man 2. And who knows how frequently we're going to be able to continue it.
Hey, hopefully.
No, not hopefully. I'm saying that, because we know, because we're going to now hop into it because it's towards the end of the year now. So things are more kind of relaxed for us in terms of schedule, in terms of just work-life balance things. And yeah, I'm excited to just do reactions. I already told you that I want to do reactions for a living. I just want to do that every single day. So my goal is to get myself at least, or to get both of us to that point where we just do it every single day.
And it's fun. And we love to share everything that we share when we do them. So yes. I'm really excited for these Marvel movies because I feel like it's like a great, I don't know, it's like a very pleasant surprise, just like we saw with the Dark Knight trilogy, which I found out was the first superhero movie, I guess, that made like $1 billion or something.
Billion?
Yeah.
With a B?
Yeah.
What?
I'm pretty sure it was like something like that. Like it was like a little fun fact about the Dark Knight trilogy.
1 billion people, well, not 1 billion people.
Which just goes to show that, superhero movies, like there's no way that could, like, there's no way that could happen with it just being an action movie. You know what I mean? And that's what we've been seeing with like The Incredible Hulk and with the first Iron Man, which we rewatched before doing this one. But yeah, it's like there's so many more layers. So I'm really excited to see all of the rest and to see what happens and see what this whole like kind of, apparently it's like all connected. So I'm just excited.
Speaking of all connected, I'm going to share a few things. Early show and tell. But before we jump right into it, we are working on the intro. Some intros are going to be longer. Others are going to be shorter. This one's probably going to be a little shorter than our usual. But look what I found on Amazon.
Dun, dun, dun.
We have an official, do you want to do the honors? You just have to press the on button right there.
An official arc reactor.
Arc reactor. Turns on, has an LED remote. You can even change the colors of it, which I think makes it look a little more cheap, on the cheaper side. I think the white one is the best one.
Yeah, the white one, but just showing all of them. And here's the white one.
And then, just like in the movie.
That's so cool.
And this is the one that Pepper Potts, right?
Proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
Yeah, Pepper Potts gifted this one to Tony Stark. This was this the first one that he made inside of the cave?
I think it was. I think it was, yeah.
It was, right? Because then he had to have, like, he saved that one as like a souvenir, as like a milestone in his ability to be creative, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was gifted to Tony Stark, and it's proof that Tony Stark has a heart, and we are going to add this to the decoration in the studio, probably back there somewhere. Find a nice little spot for it, and then you can just turn it off. But yeah, so I just wanted to show this. We can even keep it right here during the reaction. I don't know if we're going to turn on the light because of the camera and the exposure stuff, but there it is. It came in this box, reactor nightlight.
This is such a cute little thing.
And I think it was like $20, honestly. And I was genuinely surprised. Like, it feels legit.
Yeah, this has some weight to it, the little arc reactor part.
It does. And then speaking of the interconnectedness, right, because we're committed to giving our all to this journey, we also invested in this huge. I think it's the biggest book in our library now. But this huge encyclopedia, Marvel Encyclopedia, the new edition, with an introduction by Stan Lee himself.
What?
To think that one man, well, not one man, right? It was him and like a partner or something like that. But
created the whole universe.
Created all of this.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
It's insane. So this is going to help us kind of keep us informed, or at least refresh our memories as we kind of like jump into every single one. And we are going to always keep this handy just in case we need to like research after watching a movie and we want to learn more about certain characters. We are going to do that.
Yeah, it has like villains and stuff, which I'm excited. This is so crazy because this just goes to show that they can make movies and series forever with all of this content from the comic books. It's like there's so many characters.
I think it's virtually unlimited.
Yeah.
I think it's infinite.
Yeah, it is. It's so crazy. That book weighs more than me.
It does. It probably does.
Hey, it probably does.
All right. So I think that's all in terms of updates. And special thank you to everyone on Patreon. You guys will be getting early access to every single reaction video, full and uncut. You do need your own copy of each movie, each TV show. In order to sync up with our copy, we will provide you with the timestamps before we begin. A little bit rusty. We will be providing you with the timestamp so that you can link up your copy with our copy, and then it can feel like we're watching it together.
Yes.
Anything else before we jump in?
No, but just to touch on that, I think it's like really important for us to just really say thank you to the people on Patreon, everyone on YouTube as well, this like whole community that we have. It's really fun to just like, see all of the comments and people be excited to watch with us and just really supportive. And I feel like it's something that we'll talk about in the future more, like just how much the support from everyone kind of means to us.
Yeah.
Which I did make like a little post on Patreon, but then I was like too afraid to get too emotional. And I was like, I was almost, almost being vulnerable with people, but
no exaggeration. You guys have changed my life. Like no exaggeration. Like you guys have like breathed. You guys have given me a breath of fresh air and just breathed like new life into my aspirations, my ambition, my everything. It's like my whole life now is geared towards making this my full-time reality where I can just be a content creator. I can just share stuff on the internet and connect with people and just be a part of a community and kind of just be like, the whole idea is that we're just beacons, right? Like we're just shooting a bat symbol. And the whole goal is just to have everybody just come together and in favor of these beautiful pieces of art.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, let's check out what Tony Stark is up to.
It's been a while since I was up here in front of you. Maybe I'll do a solo.
Whoa, we got talking in the intro.
And for those new to the channel, we take notes. So I have my little handy dandy notepad.
Sorry, Mr.
And we discussed it at the end of each
Honestly,
video.
that was a bodyguard in a suit.
I love this little intro.
Mm-hmm.
This one and the Harry Potter ones.
Right?
Stark high-tech powered battle.
I know that it's confusing.
Moscow. It's going to be cold and snowy in New Jersey soon.
Super.
I'm excited for that.
Me too.
I'm not the heroic type.
Oh yeah, in the last movie he exposed himself.
I am Iron Man.
The whole world now knows. Ivan?
Oh, and this said Moscow, right? So this is Russia?
Russia. Yeah, let me write that down. Russia.
I don't like the looks of this.
He seems like he's dying.
Oh man.
It should be you. Oh.
Oh, man.
Okay. Pretty stark opener. Ba-doom-ts.
Oh, that's sad.
Who is this guy, though?
Oh, what the? Oh.
Oh, he has the blueprints for the arc reactor. What?
It said...
He has like a Celtic cross on his chest. Oh, this guy's obsessed, man. Look at that. The new kid. This guy has a whole shrine dedicated to Tony Stark.
That is...
Samuel L. Jackson. Tony Stark. I am Iron Man. Okay. Oh, look at the bird.
What kind of bird is that? Is it a cockatoo?
I don't know the name, but those are the birds that like headbang kind of like TikTok, you know? It stabilizes east-west relations. Wow, so he's influencing foreign policy.
Look at
as
this.
Iron Man too, which is interesting.
He's building it himself. That's insane.
Just like Obadiah said, Tony Stark built it inside of a cave.
Yeah.
You know? So if he built it inside of a cave, oh, he's laughing. Wow, and he created a smaller version when Obadiah's scientists said it's impossible. And had to create that giant suit for him. Oh, the music. The soundtrack to the first one is my favorite so far of all the movies. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's so badass.
Ah, look at that.
Batman is amazing, but Iron Man has style. Like just like they said about Dumbledore.
He's got like he's got, what do they call it? Aura on
He has
TikTok.
aura, yeah.
Like aura points.
Yeah, Iron Man aura is different. Look at that.
I already have like a theory and the movie hasn't even really started yet.
He's really embracing the dual identity.
Look at that.
You know what this is reminding me of?
No.
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana.
Yeah, like he's Hannah Montana when he's Iron Man.
Oh, I see. He's got the best of both worlds.
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, look at that.
This guy. Oh my gosh.
He was already full of himself before the Iron Man suit. His ego is on steroids now. He has like dance choreography, the American flag.
This is like the Super Bowl right here.
Yeah, this is Super Bowl for...
Got the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders in the back. Dunda! AC/DC playing. Oh, that's so crazy. Woohoo!
He really likes to do that pose with his arms open. Oh, even the fans have the little hand thing. That's cool.
I miss you too. Blow something up.
Blow something up.
I'm not saying that the world is enjoying its longest period of uninterrupted peace in years because of me.
Oh my gosh.
That from the ashes of captivity, never has a greater Phoenix metaphor been personified in human history.
Phoenix metaphor.
Huh.
Because I haven't come across anyone who's man enough to go toe-to-toe with me on my best day.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
He's basically inviting people to take him down, to challenge him.
I love you, Tony!
Of nations and corporations the world over will pool their resources to leave behind a brighter future. If I'm saying anything, is welcome back to the Stark Expo.
Thank you.
Woo!
It's not about us. It's about me.
I know. There's no you. No, there is a you in us, actually.
My father, Howard.
Oh, shoot.
So that was the name on the blueprints. Howard.
Better living, robust health, the city of the future. Holds infinite
This is reminding me of
mankind,
something.
society of all its ills.
What the heck?
Soon technology.
Blood toxicity.
The Stark Expo. Welcome.
And I'm going to be here checking out all the attractions and the pavilions and...
Open up, let's go. Hey!
Oh, the first-person perspective is amazing.
Oh my
Look
god.
at you can see where his eyes are going.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
Aww.
The Oracle of Oracle. What a pleasure. Nice to see you.
Oh, that's the CEO of Oracle.
Larry!
Oh, you saw Stanley?
Yeah.
Look what we got here, the new model.
Hey, did she come with the car?
Does she come with the car?
Pleased to meet you, Tony.
I'm on the wheel.
Hey, you got somebody at home,
I know, right? Pepper
mister.
What are you up to later?
Serving subpoenas.
I thought she said another word.
Pop. Whoa.
You are hereby ordered to appear before the Senate Armed Services Committee tomorrow morning.
Wow.
He likes the badge.
Oh, she's a U.S. Marshal. This used to be my dream car.
250 miles?
What car is that?
It's an Audi R8
R8?
V10.
Mr. Stark, please,
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
do you or do you not possess a specialized weapon?
I do not.
Oh, gosh.
You can forget it. I am Iron Man. The suit and I are one. Which is tantamount to indentured servitude or prostitution, depending on what state you're in. You can't have it.
He's really quick with it.
In prostitution, of course not. You're a senator. Come on.
That's a great joke.
Justin Hammer, our current primary weapons contractor.
Oh, brother.
Mr. Hammer entering the chamber, and I am wondering if and when any actual expert will also be in attendance.
He's really witty, man. It's crazy.
I may well not be an expert, but you know who was the expert? Your dad.
You're dead.
Anthony Stark has created a sword with untold possibilities, and yet he insists it's a shield. You know, we live in a world of grave threats, threats that Mr. Stark will not always be able to foresee.
Cricket.
To invite Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes.
Oh, Rhodey.
Hey, buddy.
Wait, what?
That's a different Rhodey.
Oh, they switched the actor out?
Oh, man.
That's so weird.
That reading a single paragraph out of context does not reflect the summary
Just
of
read
my
it, Colonel,
findings.
I do.
As he does not operate within any definable branch of government, Iron Man presents a potential threat. I did, however, go on to summarize that it would be in our interest. Command,
I'm not a
Senator.
joiner, but I'll consider Secretary of Defense, if you ask nice.
I'd like to go on and show imagery that's connected to your
I
report.
believe it is somewhat premature to...
And if you could just narrate those for us, we'd
Oh, my gosh.
This senator is so slimy.
He's so insufferable.
I know.
The devices seen in these photos are in fact attempts at making manned copies of Mr. Stark's suit.
Oh, he's hacking into the TV.
Time for a little transparency. If you'll direct your attention to said screens, I believe that's North Korea.
Oh, shoot. Every country now is trying to replicate.
Oh, my gosh.
turn that off.
Oh.
Threat here. Is that Justin Hammer? How did Hammer get in the game?
Oh, Justin Hammer's in the thing.
Justin, you're on TV. Focus up.
Okay.
Imagine there was someone in there. If it was like, I don't know if it's a man's suit, but you would completely just instantly dead.
5-10 years away. Hammer Industries.
Hammer
20.
Industries.
But I did you a big favor. I have successfully privatized world peace.
He's not wrong though.
Oh my gosh.
He's not wrong. Like nobody's probably close to it.
You, Mr. Stark.
Oh.
You, buddy.
Oh.
Good day. Okay. You've been a delight.
Oh. To the U.S. government. Wow. He's above government.
He said.
Yeah. He said, "Call me. Call me if you get lost."
It's one thing I've proven is that you can count on me to pleasure myself.
And this guy said, "Bet."
This guy's one of those other ones, but it seems like he's actually getting it.
Oh.
Wow. Ooh, this guy got it.
Ooh, it's like whips and chains.
Oh my god.
Ooh, I like that. I like that
Oh.
idea.
I think we have our villain,
Wake up, Daddy.
which was my...
Welcome home, sir. In ceremonies, there was
Oh,
such a
shoot.
success.
Look, the first suit.
How refreshing it is to finally
Oh, he's going viral on YouTube. Look.
Let me know.
Making smoothies.
I'll dismantle you, I'll shake your motherboard, I'll turn you into a wine rack.
Oh my god, that's a threat.
We are up to 80 ounces a day to counteract the symptoms, sir.
Check palladium levels.
Palladium levels.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's going up. It's going up.
Blood toxicity.
The continued use of the Iron Man suit is accelerating your condition.
Oh no.
Wow. You could borrow hours if you want.
Yeah.
I've run simulations on every known element, and none can serve as a viable replacement for the palladium core.
Ooh, there's no replacement. Palladium core.
You are running out of both time and options.
Oh no.
What happens if the blood toxicity?
The device that's keeping you alive is also killing you.
Ooh, the paradox, huh?
Wow.
I recommend that you inform me.
Goes back to cars.
Did you just donate our entire modern art collection to
Boy Scouts of
Boy
America.
Scouts of America?
Look how cool this is, man.
You know what? I think I'm actually entitled to say
This is augmented reality before it even became a thing.
Expo is your ego gone crazy.
That's true. Ooh, that's a nice...
That's modern art.
That's a nice poser. We should get one of those.
Yeah.
You do it.
I do what?
Excellent idea. I just figured this out. You run the company.
What?
You're not listening to me. I'm trying to make you CEO.
CEO of Stark Industries?
Have you been drinking?
Oh shit.
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll.
Yeah, done deal.
They're like a married couple.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not.
This robot's so funny.
Headhunting, so to speak.
Came with the champagne.
I know.
It's you. It's always been you.
Wow.
I thought there'd be a legal issue, but actually I'm capable of appointing my successor.
She stopped nagging.
Just take
I don't know what to think.
Don't think, drink.
Don't think, drink. I like that. I'm gonna write that down. Don't think, drink.
Out of context, that sounds bad.
Whoa. Don't think, drink. Moscow, Russia.
I don't like this guy.
I've always wanted to go to Russia to just visit.
I didn't even know it was like visitable.
It is. And they have some amazing Orthodox churches. Is it getting like a fake?
Yeah, it seems like it's a fake ID.
Monaco.
Ooh.
The notary's here. Can you please come sign the transfer?
Look at his home gym. Oh, this guy's living the dream. He's a superhero, a billionaire.
I need you to initialize.
What's your name, lady?
Rushman, Natalie Rushman.
Rushman.
No, you're seriously not gonna.
If it pleases the court.
Natalie.
Can you give her a lesson?
She is potentially a very expensive sexual harassment lawsuit if you keep
Jesus
ogling her
Christ.
like that.
You ever boxed before?
I have, yes.
I like.
No one speaks Latin.
No
It's
one
a
speaks
dead
Latin.
language.
Close your eyes.
Oh.
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 Oh my gosh.
She's the lawyer? Damn. She's the lawyer?
I need your impression.
You have quiet reserve. I don't know, you have an old soul.
You're an old soul. He's like, you're quite reserved. You're an old soul. Like, I need your impression.
How are we doing?
Great, just.
Yeah, intervene a little bit more, because I don't like what's going on.
Will that be all, Mr. Stark? Yes, that will be all, Miss Rushman. Thank you very much.
She's like, yes, get the heck out of here.
I want one.
I want one. What? What?
What the heck?
I want one. He's so smooth. He's so, like, butter. Butter. What the heck? Monaco. Ooh, the Grand Prix. This is where the richest people on the planet go. Fast cars.
It
big
looks
bank
like
accounts. Yeah. Hotel de Paris.
Is that a Rolls Royce?
That's a Rolls Royce. Heck yeah. It's the only way to show up when you're Iron Man.
Hello, how was your flight?
It was excellent.
When did this happen?
Come on, you made me do it.
I made you do what?
Smile. Great there. Flare your nostrils.
Right this way. That's the amazing thing.
Don't flare your nostrils, he said.
Mr. Musk, how are you?
What? That's Elon Musk.
What?
The guy who bought Twitter.
Yeah, good idea for an electric jet.
Oh my, electric jet.
Holy moly. What? Talk about crazy cameo. I've never seen an entrepreneur do a movie cameo.
Anthony.
Oh, this guy.
You're not the only rich guy here with a fancy car.
Oh, this guy's insufferable. Justin is his name?
Yeah.
Fromage.
Time that
Say
you guys
Brie.
have seen each other.
God,
Hey,
it's so
you guys.
awful.
It's so awful.
The first time you've seen each other since the
kids.
Senate.
Since he got his contract revoked.
Yes, what is?
The truth?
No, the truth is, we put that away.
Put that away. He's like,
If you invent something that works, I'll make sure I get you a slot.
It's so hectic, right? Like, there's no peace or moment of relaxation. Being social is exhausting. Damn, 53%.
oh God, it's.
That's how
really
I feel
going
when
on.
I'm in like a social setting. Like, I get overwhelmed. I don't know if you feel that way.
Yeah, I do too. Overstimulation. Whoa.
My social battery drains quickly. So what happens when it reaches 100 is my question. Obviously something bad.
I
Got any
think.
bad ideas?
Boo, boo, boo.
Oh, you talking to me? I don't have any ideas. Ooh, that's a cool suit.
Oh my God.
Is he driving?
Driving an F1 car is probably one of the most dangerous things ever.
This cannot happen. I understand. How can I help you?
That's crazy.
Where are you going? I got some caviar coming.
Some caviar. This guy's so desperate for attention.
Yeah.
I mean, he's used to flying his suit, so.
Mm-hmm. And he has a collection of cars. So.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Woo. I wonder if this is practical effects. Like, are these practical effects? If you guys know, comment below. Oh, the dude.
Oh, what's his name? Turganov.
Ivan.
His fake name is something else.
Oh, I don't know.
Turganov is it? Oh, this is so sick.
It's so high energy. Like, this whole movie so far has been a constant high. Oh my God.
Oh
Look at how fast they're driving past him. Look at that.
What the heck?
That's an extreme liability right there.
Oh, shoot.
Oh my God. Damn.
Nah, that's so cool.
That's so sick. Oh.
What? What did that guy do to you?
Oh, talk about making a scene.
Oof. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's a suit in a briefcase.
It looks like the suit, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Ooh, like my chest is tightening. Look at that.
Oh
Ooh. Did he get his legs?
No, just the front.
Damn.
Woo!
This all looks like practical effects.
Oh my God, it's literally like whips of lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. Wow. He's already 100 times cooler than Obadiah.
And you were saying that it's dangerous? Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
in this case.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. He was trying to kill him. What?
Oh, that was close. Ah, that was close. Oh, that got him.
Oh, God. He doesn't even have a suit. Oh, there's an idea.
Or a disaster, whichever comes first. Damn, look at what it's doing with the asphalt. Oh my God.
Damn.
Were you heading for me or him? I was trying to scare him. I can't tell.
Dude, he's gonna wake up, bro. Come on. Oh, look how it moves.
Look how slowly they're moving.
Oh my goodness gracious. Look at that.
Oh, he's handcuffed to the suit.
What?
Or he was. He has a
Why does he have a handcuff on? What? What? Oh my God. Come on, bro.
Wait, I need to get mine ready.
Come on. Turn the light on, too. I don't know where the controller is. Quick. Look at that.
I'm ready.
Look at that. I want one. I want one. Could you get me that for Christmas? Please.
Yes. Here.
Please.
You do it. You're Iron Man. I'm just Pepper. This is sick.
Damn. Oh, he's gonna... he's gonna fry him. He's gonna fry his circuit board. Ooh, he's wrapping himself around it. You think he could absorb all the energy? Ooh.
How crazy is that, right? The guy cut through the steel of the car, but then Iron Man's suit.
Yeah, he can cut through steel, but not iron, right?
Yeah, I mean, steel is made from iron.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a potato. He's laughing about it.
Huh?
You will lose, Stark, I think. He basically lost because he struggled, you know? In front of the whole world, he struggled against this guy.
And that guy was able to create an arc reactor that was successsul.
En fait, on sait même pas s'il parle. Il a pas dit un mot depuis qu'il est arrivé. Pas un son.
5 minutes. Oh, he speaks French. 5 minutes.
Très bien.
5 minutes.
Très bien.
Et comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle Calais Lacerte. Et toi?
Nice.
I spent 8 months learning to say those words.
Cycles per second were a little low. You could have doubled up your rotations.
He's giving him pointers.
I don't get it. A little fine tuning. You could have made a solid paycheck. You could have sold it to North Korea, China.
You come from a family of thieves and butchers, and now, like all guilty men, try to rewrite your own history.
What?
And you forget all the lives the Stark family has destroyed.
Speaking of thieves, where did you get this design?
My father, Anton Vanko.
I never heard of him.
What?
If you can make God bleed, then people will cease to believe in him.
Ooh.
And there will be blood in the water.
Ooh.
And the sharks will come.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
The truth. All I have to do is sit here and watch.
Ooh. I'm telling you.
Hey, Tony, before you go, palladium in the chest, painful way to die.
Ooh.
He knows about his weakness. And he knows about his weakness. Wow.
His dad's name was on the blueprint.
Anton Vanko, right?
Yeah.
And Howard Stark. Okay. Oh, the contrast between the private jet versus this.
Yeah.
His food does not look pleasant, I bet.
Oh, they're slipping stuff.
Uh-oh. Contraband. We love watching 60 Days In. Enjoy the potatoes. What?
What?
Is that a... Ooh.
That is spicy potato. What the heck?
6219. Oh.
Oh, they're gonna swap places. I was like, what is this? A freaking KGB reunion? Ooh!
Oh, he's gonna frame the other guy? Or pretend that he explode. Oh, he's gonna sacrifice him?
Hey, prisonnier, arrête-toi!
This guard just went... That's what I thought. He's gonna fake his own death.
How is he gonna get out of here? Oh, they're helping him.
Look at the contrast. It's so nice.
Damn. Oh, shit. Look who it is.
It's the Justin Hammer guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God, this guy's so pretentious.
Welcome. Can we get the handcuffs off my friend here?
I didn't know you were friends.
A first impression like this, he's not an animal. Come on.
Is he holding a mandala? One of those meditative beads?
You need my resources. I'd like to be that guy.
Usually mnie убьют.
Do you speak English? Because I can get a translator.
Yeah.
I would appreciate one.
I want my bird.
A bird?
Oh, his bird.
Is this a bird back in Russia?
Very, very strong. Despite
Dr.
the
Pepper.
event.
Pepper Potts.
Yeah, that's cool. Good catch.
He doesn't want to be disturbed.
He's downstairs.
Anton Vanko was a Soviet physicist who defected. His son Ivan, who is also a physicist, and served 15 years in Kopiask prison.
You said nobody else would possess this technology for 20 years. Somebody else had it yesterday. Are you listening to me?
He's not looking too good.
Hey.
He has to tell someone.
Is that supposed to be smoking? If you must know, it's neutron damage. It's from the reactor.
Neutron damage.
You had this in your body?
Oof.
And how about the high-tech crossword puzzle on your neck?
Thank you.
Yeah, not looking too good.
Ooh. What is he gonna do? He probably has to work with the other guy.
You want to do this whole...
What is he drinking?
Contrary to popular belief, I know exactly what I'm doing.
I kind of believe him.
Oh, look at Hammer Industries.
So this is like the competitor, right?
I may have done a few miscalculations and rushed the prototype.
Wow.
Is this the one that twisted its torso?
Yeah.
Can we generate some encrypted passcodes? Get some of those encrypted passcodes, Jack.
He just hacked his whole system.
Wow. Okay.
Твой софт, говно.
Sorry?
Software shit.
Software shit. Software shit.
You really blasted in past the firewall there. Let me show you where you're going to be working primarily.
He's like, shut up, man.
He's like,
let me work.
You know, those are really just for show and tell.
Oh, this guy talks so much. I'm so annoyed.
It's $7 million a pop. So bang! Oh!
Ooh, $5 million a pop.
I want to make Iron Man look like an antique.
I can do that.
Yeah?
No problem.
Hey, this is our guy. Did I tell you? I had a feeling.
This guy, he wants to replace Tony.
Yeah.
89?
He has screens everywhere.
I should cancel the party, huh?
Probably.
Right, sends wrong message.
Inappropriate.
What's up with the tension here, huh?
Yeah.
There's a lot of tension.
Is that dirty enough for you?
Ooh.
What the heck?
Dirty martini.
I'll take that. Why don't you...
She's sitting on his lap?
No.
I gotta say it, it's hard to get a read on you. Where are you from?
Legal?
Legal.
If this was your last birthday party you're ever gonna have, how would you celebrate it?
I'll do whatever I wanted to do. With whoever I wanted to do it.
What?
There's a lot of implications going on here.
Every sentence.
As he's wearing the suit, oh, I don't like the looks of this.
I like the looks of this. It's down to party. California is down to party.
Sir, I personally guarantee that within 24 hours, Iron Man will be back on
it's
watch.
Tupac, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, he's drunk.
I told you.
Isn't that dangerous?
Yes.
You know, the question I get asked most often is, Tony, how do you go to the bathroom in the suit? Just like that.
Number one or number two?
Does this guy know how to throw a party or what?
Does this guy know how to throw a party or what?
Wonderful night, and we're gonna say goodnight now.
Is he reaching for her butt? He was like reaching.
Just keep the suit.
I know, it has a filtration system. You could drink that water.
You could drink that water.
She's right. The party's over. The after party starts in 15 minutes.
Oh, no.
And if anybody, Pepper, doesn't like it, there's the door.
Oh, my. Oh. Imagine he blasted through a few of those people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the line got drawn right there, I think.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no. Oh.
Ooh, he didn't like that.
Oh no. What if he misses and gets somebody on the balcony? Oh, he's gonna... In the last movie, that character said one day.
Yeah.
And this is the day. Where did she get a watermelon from?
I think she wants the Gallagher.
Oh.
Nice. Target practice.
Look at all these grown teenagers.
I'm only gonna say this once.
Ooh.
Get out.
Oh, shit.
His dad is home now.
You don't deserve to wear one of these. Shut it down.
All of a sudden.
Give me a fat beat to beat my buddy's ass.
Give me a fat beat to beat my buddy. That.
I told you to shut it down.
The soundtrack is impeccable, man.
Dust.
Ooh. And here we are wanting to get a sauna, right? And they're like, whatever.
He could afford like 20 of those.
Woo. Drunk Iron Man versus Silver Man.
Oh shit, damn, he just grabbed that like it's nothing.
Oh, that was like 225?
Oh.
Sorry, pal, but Iron Man doesn't have a sidekick.
Oh, the syncing with the music. Oh my god, he's destroying his whole house. Did she change clothes?
Yeah. She got
Is that normal?
She got ready for the party.
Oh, for the after party. She seems kind of suspicious, though. I don't know.
Yeah, she does.
Legal? Like, why is his lawyer there? Let's go. I got my money on Silver.
I don't think so.
Even though he has more experience. But he is drunk.
I think everyone's getting kind of scared of him now. Oof. Ooh.
I like the sounds.
You think you got what it takes to wear that suit?
We don't have to do this, Tony.
Damn.
You want to be the War Machine? Take your shot.
Put it down.
War Machine.
Drop it, Tony. Take it.
Ooh.
Oh my
God. Wow, look at that.
Oh, look, everything's destroyed. And now their friendship kind of is too.
Yeah. I mean, technically, the Silver one was looking after Iron Man, you know? Like, doesn't want him to ruin his life.
Yeah, but I think he's upset that he's being very irresponsible.
True. What, for his first time?
He's taking the suit.
Oh, you think he's taking it to the Pentagon?
Man, he's not leaving it, that's for sure.
And for his first flight, that was pretty impressive. Yeah, Rhodes, inbound.
But what's his experience again? Because it could make him experienced with, like...
My guess is he's a fighter jet pilot.
Well, he's in the military, right?
Yeah. It's the only way to explain how seamlessly he's been able to fly this one. Oh, that plane in the back, I forget. I think it's called a Unibomber or an H-bomb or something like that. But that plane is one of the craziest planes ever.
It looks crazy.
It's based off of a falcon, the anatomy of a falcon.
Let's take it inside.
Everybody ignored all the planes and ran to the Iron Man suit.
Huh.
Hey man, he's dying, so
hey, eating a donut? I like that.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Or in this case,
ooh, I want donuts.
donut sounds good.
I'm gonna have to ask you to exit the donut.
Oh, from the last movie, right?
Told you I don't want to join your
The end credit.
Yeah.
How's it working out for you?
It's I'm sorry, I don't want to get off on the wrong foot. Do I look at the patch or the eye?
That's what I'm trying to decide.
I'm not sure if you're real or if I'm having clear.
I am very.
I'm
the realest person you ever gonna
Real
My
too.
eye is real too.
Where's the staff here?
That's not looking so good.
Oof.
Been worse.
This is Jules from Pulp Fiction.
We should hold it for much longer.
I knew it. I told you.
She's an agent.
You made your girl your CEO. You're giving away all your stuff. You let your friend fly away with your suit.
I didn't give it to him. He took it.
Whoa. But no, he took it? You're Iron Man and he just took it? The little brother walked in there.
Little brother.
Contrary to your belief, you are not the center of my universe.
Yeah, I get
I have bigger problems than you in the Southwest region to deal with. Hit him.
Ooh.
Steal my kidney and sell it? Would you please not do anything awful?
Oh, look, it's going away.
Oh, shoot.
Hey.
Oh.
Special delivery. Candygram.
This guy's kind of funny though. I kind of like him. I hate him, but I hate that I like him.
Yeah. You like that you hate him.
Yeah.
You like to hate him.
Yes. There you go.
This is not my boat.
What do you mean? That's the bird. This is the bird. Yeah.
A man, this is not my boat.
Get him his bird right now.
I mean, look, don't get so attached to things. Learn to let go.
It says the guy who's trying to ruin Tony Stark's reputation.
Yeah.
Let go.
That's not a helmet? What is that? Is that a helmet? Doesn't look like a helmet to me. Jack, could you put your head in there? No. Try to put your head in there. Go ahead, try to put your head in there. See, Ivan, he can't put his head in there. That's not a helmet, it's a head.
Ooh.
Drone better.
What? Drone better? Why is drone better?
People make problems.
Drones.
I like you. I got you the bird.
Ooh, that's actually really smart.
Mm-hmm.
The government wants suits. That's what's going to make them happy.
Hey, man. Don't get too attached to things. Going to let go.
There you go.
Drones better steal the show, Ivan. You understand? Better rock my world, Ivan.
Get him his bird.
Howard said the arc reactor was a stepping stone to something greater. He was about to kick off an energy race that was gonna dwarf.
Damn.
Anton saw it as a way to get rich. When your father found out, he had him deported.
Ooh.
They shipped his ass off to Siberia, and he spent the next 20 years in a vodka-fueled rage. Not quite the environment you want to raise a kid in.
I see.
He said that you were the only person with the means and knowledge to finish what he started. Because if you are, then you can solve the riddle of your heart.
Solve the riddle of your heart. Look at the wording and the way things are said.
I don't get that. We're talking about a guy whose happiest day was when he shipped me off to boarding school. Well, clearly you know my dad better than I did.
As a matter of fact, I did. He was one of the founding members of S.H.I.E.L.D.
What?
Natasha will remain a floater at Stark with her cover intact, and you remember Agent Coulson.
Natasha.
Remember, I got my eye on you.
My one eye.
Yeah.
Not the other one.
The other one probably sees better.
Yeah, imagine it's a see-through.
It's no contact with the outside world. Good luck.
Oh, he's like quarantined? House arrest?
I've been authorized by Director Fury to use any means necessary to keep you on premises. If you attempt to leave or play any games, I will tase you and watch Super Nanny while you drool into the carpet.
Oof.
Enjoy your evening's entertainment.
Property of H. Stark.
I mean, I'm interested to see what it is.
Me too.
I want to know what you're going to do for us.
Well, first thing I'm going to do for you is I'm going to upgrade your software. And then
Secondly,
I think I should slap a
Hammer.
paint.
Talking about firepower.
Why is he eating a lollipop?
Oh, he bit into the lollipop. Ah.
It's beautiful, but I can tell this isn't disco enough for you, so I'm going to put it right here. We're looking at a Milcore 40-millimeter grenade.
It's like Call of Duty.
Let me see which one of these looks like my loadout.
Yeah, choose your class.
Let anyone tell you different. This is a 762 minigun, 6 individual barrels, the torso take.
Do they call it a minigun, ironically?
Yeah, that isn't far from mini.
Yeah.
These are the Cubans, baby. These are the Cohibas, the Monte Cristos. This is a kinetic kill sidewinder vehicle with a secondary cyclotrimethylene trinitramine RDX.
Oh my God, so many words.
And it's capable of reducing the population of any standing structure to 0. They call it the ex-wife.
The ex-wife?
Give me something here. You're like a sphinx. I can't read you.
Like a sphinx.
I think I'll take it.
Which one?
All of it.
You're like a sphinx.
Oh, more blueprints.
Oh, is this the same blueprint that Ivan had?
It looks like it.
Soviet scientists. Vanko defects. Ooh, vintage Kodak. Nice.
I'm Howard Stark, and everything you'll need in the future can be found right here. So, from all of us at Stark...
Oh, that's probably him.
Tony, what are you doing back there? What is that? Put that back. Put it back where you got it from. Where's your mother? Maria!
Maria.
Come on, go.
Maria, sai daqui, moleque. Maria, vem pegar seu filho aqui, ó.
So from all of us at Stark Industries, I'd like to personally show you my ass.
Hey, like father, like son, right there. I'd like to show you my ass. Imagine. That's the big thing in the movie. Diagram of his father's ass.
That's his greatest creation.
His heart. Yeah, it saves his heart.
Tony.
Ooh, he's talking.
You're too young to understand this right now, so I thought I would put it on film for you.
Ooh.
You will change the world. What is and always will be my greatest creation is you.
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, this whole time he thought his dad hated him.
A lot of Audi.
I know, right?
He was making a promise.
No, the soup belongs
we
to us.
trusted that he would look out for us.
Yes, but you're
He
not.
obviously did not.
Bert.
And now we learned
Yes,
that his
it does.
secretary, a woman named Virginia Pepper Potts.
Virginia.
Will Tony Stark be there?
Will I?
No, he will not.
I would like to be.
Fine.
30 seconds.
29.
Okay, I was just
I
trying.
hate that. It's like, I do that with you, though. You're like, 1 second.
That goes without saying, and I'm working on that. But I haven't been.
That's really distracting. The thing in front of him. For people like me, that's too distracting.
Let me just stop you right here, okay? Because if you say I one more time,
There's a
I'm
lot
going
of
to actually hurl something at your head, I think. People are relying on you to be Iron Man, and you've disappeared, and all I'm doing is putting out your fires and taking the heat for it. Did you bring me strawberries? Did you know that there's only one thing on Earth that I'm allergic to?
Strawberries.
He knows her so well.
This is progress, Pepper. I knew there was a correlation between you and this. Need you too. That's what I'm trying to.
I need you too. Oh, this
Oh
lady's
my
always eavesdropping.
Wheels up in 25 minutes. Thank you.
He's like, I know what you are.
Anything else, boss?
I'm good.
No, I'll be just another minute.
Who's the boss here?
I lost both the kids in the divorce. Are you blending in well here, Natalie? Here at Stark Enterprises.
Blending.
Your name is Natalie, isn't it? You just tear things out. You're a triple imposter. I've never seen anything like it. Do you even speak Latin?
Falecis sunt rerum species.
What'd you just say?
It means you can either drive yourself home or I can have you collected.
Have you collected? Oof.
You're good.
She's the Snape, the female Snape. Where does her loyalty lie? I would love to have a friend like Tony Stark. I would love to have a friend like him.
Don't those strawberries look fake?
They do, right? It's too perfect. Yeah.
It's like the fake food that they put in the cafes, like in the stands.
Yeah. For the effect. The key to the future is here. Oh, is this the same one that he was toying with?
Yeah.
He just does whatever he wants, and that's what's really cool about him. He's very unapologetic, too.
Yeah.
I need a manipulable projection.
Wow. Who needs friends when you have this assistant?
Scan complete, sir.
How many buildings are there?
Am I to include the Belgian waffle stands?
That was rhetorical. Just show me.
This is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Highlight the Unisphere.
What is it you're trying to achieve, sir?
I'm discovering, correction, I'm rediscovering it.
What?
The structure of the protons and the neutrons using the pavilions as a framework.
It's a framework. Oof.
Wow.
Almost as if his dad knew that he would become Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Of course.
Dead for almost 20 years. Still taking me to school.
Unfortunately, it is impossible to synthesize.
Get ready for a major remodel, fellas. We're back in hardware mode.
Oh.
Impossible to synthesize, so it hasn't been created yet. Just discovered.
Right. Mm-hmm. He's redestroying his house. His house was rebuilt after the accident. It's like a makeshift laboratory.
Director Fury wants me in New Mexico.
Fantastic. Land of enchantment.
Good luck.
Bye.
We need you.
Yeah, more than you know.
Not that much.
More than you know.
Initializing prismatic accelerator.
Oh, just like when he was in the cave.
Yeah.
With the wife beater.
Approaching maximum power.
Oh, is this the prism refraction thing?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, something's happening. Is that the same shape? It is. Look, there's a triangle in this one. Something happened.
Congratulations, sir. You have created a new element.
What? That's insane.
A new element.
Sir, the reactor has accepted the modified core.
Yes.
I will begin running diagnostics.
Oh, you figured it out.
Well, what can you make him do? I mean, this is a weapons demonstration.
I can make salute.
Salute. Can make the robot do this. That's the most I can do.
You promised me suits, and then you promised me drones.
Man, everything will be okay.
This is not what I wanted.
Did he get the bird?
I don't know.
Or
is that his bird? Or he just made a new friend?
He has to let it go.
Hey, there he is. It's the Birdman.
Birdman.
You love that bird, don't you? You know what? Take the bird.
Hey!
Oh, what? Why?
I took your stuff. How's that make you feel? Do you feel bad? Good. Because that's how I feel.
I can't take him serious.
He's a spoiled brat.
You give me suits. That was our deal. You did not deliver.
You already got a suit on.
You dig what I'm getting at here?
Слишком много говоришь.
I don't know if you know this, but I don't speak Russian! I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna go to the Expo. Maybe I'll even get laid.
Maybe not.
They are not to be trifled with.
Let go of the bird.
Coulson, how's Land of Enchantment?
Hey, Tony, how you doing? Hey, Bobo Psycho.
What?
You told me Bobo Psycho.
He hung the two guys.
Tracy.
Sir.
Now, the true history of Stark's name will be written.
Where is he?
Accessing the Oracle grid.
Quicker.
What your father did to my family over 40 years will do to you in 40 minutes.
Sounds good. Let's get together and hash it out.
Tri-state area.
Tri-state.
Call trace incomplete.
What happened with his family is kind of his dad's fault, right?
Yeah.
Sir.
Here we go. Ooh, he's not gonna let the test run.
We are unclear as to the.
I don't want to hear it, Jarvis.
Oh, his things are disappearing. So.
That tastes like coconut.
Tastes like coconut.
Oh my god.
he said he likes to pleasure himself. I guess that's what he meant. Another Audi, like it's probably product placement. Just like the Dr. Pepper.
Look at him trying to do the.
He's trying to be. He wants to be Tony Stark so badly. Look at that.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Well, today, my friends, the press is faced with quite a different problem. They are about to run out of ink.
What?
Cricket.
Get this guy out of here.
Today, I present to you the new face of the United States military, the Hammer-drone.
America.
Damn, they look pretty crazy.
They look scary. There's just something about it not being manned.
Yeah.
There's something about automated intelligence, artificial intelligence, that freaks me out.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty incredible. I would play a Call of Duty like this.
Even if they can't really do anything right now, the suits itself look pretty crazy.
Yes, I'm sold.
But as revolutionary as this technology is.
Oh shoot.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I am proud to present to you and its pilot, Air Force Lieutenant Colonel
Air Force.
James Rhodes.
So we were right.
Wow.
Rhodey.
What? He like completely switched sides?
I guess he's on the side of the U.S. government. So he just has to do what he's told, I guess, in this sense. Oops.
It's Iron Man. You could hear
Look
the
how everybody stands up. It was crickets when he came out dancing.
Oh, it's a triangle.
Let's not do this right now.
Yeah, it changed.
He has a new suit already.
Where's Vanko?
Whoa.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm not doing that. That's not me.
Oh, he hacked it. Oh my god, all of them. Oh my.
Just take it outside.
Oh my gosh.
Look at the glass. Oh my goodness. Woof. Deploy. Imagine being able to just do that remotely. Just.
Yeah. Wait, are the other ones all flying?
Yeah.
What?
On what? On you!
I got target locked. Ooh.
Nobody gets hit.
I know, right?
Not a single person.
Oh my gosh.
What would you do? Like, I don't know what to do there.
I'm telling you, I'm scared of robots.
I'm scared of AI.
Call the guards.
All the phones are down, sir.
Well then, call their cell.
It's always call someone.
Please now, go away. Thank you.
You tell me who's behind this.
Where is he?
Ivan Vanko.
Oh, look at her.
That's all it took. She's like Batman.
He's a wimp.
No, honey. Don't call them.
Honey.
Right away. Step aside. Step aside.
Where is he?
Tell me everything you know. Go.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Remote treatment not successful.
Sheesh.
Damn.
These things are, like, they're pretty well made.
Get in the car. Take me to Hammer Industries.
I'm not taking you anywhere.
Fine. You want me to drive?
No, I'm driving.
No, get in the car. Don't tell me to get in the car. I'll tell you to get in the car. Ooh, a 50 caliber. Oh, those are the missiles that he was talking about. Those thick boys.
Yeah.
It's working. Oh,
it's
no,
the
no,
kid.
no. Not the kid. Not the kid. Oh, the AI doesn't know how to distinguish between...
Oh my gosh.
He just leaves the kid there?
And,
Okay.
and that's the same kid that he signed his autograph.
I like patted his head.
When we arrive, I need you to watch the perimeter. I'm gonna enter the facility and take down the target.
What the heck?
Close your eyes.
He can't. He's not closing his eyes.
Hey.
And he's driving. Look at that. It's a joke, babe. It's a joke.
It's music to my ears.
Where's my car?
Oh. Ooh. Hey, my car was there.
Oh, where's my car?
Oh no. How am I going to explain this to the insurance?
I don't think the insurance covers that.
I'm not staying in the car.
What's up with the car?
Stay in the car.
What are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
You want to help? Keep the car running.
Okay.
Ooh.
Damn. Oh, we're gonna see her in action. So this is Disney World for tech.
We're about to get wet on this ride.
We're about to get wet on this ride.
That's what she said.
He's gone.
Ooh.
Sorry, buddy. Had to thin out the herd. What's your 20?
Uh-oh. Oracle.
What are you doing?
I'm rebooting Rhodey's suit.
Oh, wow. She's pretty good.
She's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is like a Japanese Zen garden.
You got your best friend back.
Thank you very much, Agent Romanoff.
Well done with the new chest piece. I'm reading significantly higher.
Oh, look at the symbol.
For the moment, I'm not dying.
Did you say you're dying?
I was going to tell you I didn't want to.
You were
alarm
going to tell me you really were dying?
You didn't let
Why
me.
didn't you tell me?
Bad.
Save it for the honeymoon. You got incoming, Tony.
Oh.
Are you okay now?
I am fine. Don't be mad. I will formally apologize
I am
when I'm
mad.
not fending off a hemorrhoid attack.
Hemorrhoid.
Hemorrhoid.
Hemorrhoid attack.
Snap out of it, buddy. I need you.
Isn't Romanoff Russian?
Yeah, that's like royal.
Oh man, you can have your suit back.
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to take the suit.
Mm-hmm. Got to deal with the responsibility. Oh, no more planning. Plan B or Plan Z.
Oh, well, now it's two of them.
These things are scary looking, man.
I know. Look, they're armed up. Oh,
It's like like each one is an entire army.
Oh, that's
showtime. It's showtime. In the left corner, we have red and yellow Tony Stark.
Nah, they're easily taking out these freaking things.
It just goes to show, right? Quality versus quantity.
Exactly.
Ooh, look at
Here's what we think of your suits.
that. Yeah. Here's your demonstration.
Oh my gosh.
This is the ultimate demonstration.
Get down!
I think you should lead with that next time.
Yeah, sorry, boss. I can only use it once. It's a one-off.
I told you that 5 minutes ago.
It's your guy here.
Excuse me?
Yes, finally.
I'm gonna make a problem for you. I'm gonna be seeing you again real soon.
Is that a threat?
Ooh, I'm scared.
Yeah. Spoiled child.
We'll have city buses there to ferry people to operating lines.
Yeah. You coming with us?
No, I'm gonna stay till the park is clear.
She's giving orders.
So this is the one that...
This one's manned, right?
Good to be back.
Oh, this ain't gonna be good.
Oh, with the whips.
Busted bunker with the ex-wife.
The what?
The ex-wife. Oh, this is the bullet.
Oh, the thing that he said.
That's the ex-wife.
Why would he trust Justin Hammer?
Yeah, this guy's not messing around. He is not messing around. They're fighting in a Zen garden. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
Of all places.
Ooh. How do you take out one of these?
Yeah, like what's his weakness?
This is your idea? Yep.
Oh, just like they did at his house.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was it effective?
Oh, come on.
Oh, I guess it was effective.
You lose.
Oh, he's gonna sacrifice himself.
Oh, shit.
All these drones are rigged to blow. We gotta get out of here.
Go, 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 go.
Quick, quick, quick. Oh, and they're scattered throughout the whole expo. So how are they going to manage all of them? Look at that.
Oh, shit.
First person he thought of was Pepper.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, but if you see evil robot with a red blinking light making that noise, you're going to stand right next to it?
I mean, even if she ran, I don't think she could outrun that. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Oh my god, I can't take this anymore. I quit. I'm resigning.
You deserve better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll handle the transition. It'll be smooth.
Okay, what about...
Oh! We got it. We got
I
it.
felt it coming too.
We got it. With the backdrop. Chaos.
It's okay, right?
She has a soft spot for him.
I think it was weird.
I think it was weird.
Hey, third wheeler.
I had just quit.
Yeah, so we're
actually,
not...
You don't have to do that. I heard the whole thing. Get a roof.
Get a roof. Get a roof.
I thought you were out of one-liners.
That's the last one.
You kicked ass back there, bro.
Thank you.
Listen, my car got taken out in the explosion, so
I'm gonna have to hang on to your suit for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Not okay. Not okay with that.
Wasn't a question.
Oh. All right, I'll support him having the suit.
At least he's a good guy.
It's cool. It is pretty cool. Just don't take it to the government.
Yeah, don't you dare.
It's your suit now.
Oh, there's that Avengers Initiative preliminary report.
I'm not sure it pertains to you anymore. Now this, on the other hand, is Agent Romanoff's assessment of you.
You filed a report on him.
Personality overview, Mr. Stark displays compulsive behavior. In my own defense, that was last week. Prone to self-destructive tendencies. I was dying. I mean, please. Aren't we all?
Are we all?
Are we all?
Narcissism.
Narcissism.
Agreed?
Oh, at least he admits it.
Iron Man, yes. I gotta think about it.
Read on.
Tony Stark, not recommended. I'm trying to do right. I'm in a stable-ish relationship.
Oh, that's a change of pace.
Rhodey and I are being honored in Washington, and we need a presenter.
See what I can do.
It is my honor to be here today. And Mr. Tony Stark.
Okay.
This guy hates him.
Lieutenant Colonel, for such an exceptionally distinguished performance. You deserve this.
He asked that he'd be the one.
You deserve this. Oh, sorry. Funny how annoying a little prick can be, isn't it?
Look at this guy. AC/DC again.
This is nice. Nice. I really, really, really enjoyed this one. This one was a good time.
Oh, this one was...
No alcohol required.
Yeah, this one was so fun. I almost didn't take that many notes.
I didn't take that many notes either. Just because this one's more of a fun film, you know, just more of a... But it does have very interesting layers to it, which I want to get into.
It feels like a... It also feels like kind of a setup for what's to come, you know?
Yeah, with the whole like Avengers Initiative, which obviously like we're not oblivious to the fact that all of this culminates into the Avengers, and then like each one, like the Hulk, right? Like everything has to kind of be set, like the stage has to be set for each personality, for each character. And then at the end it was the hammer, which I'm assuming is Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
So, and also Roswell, New Mexico, it's just so funny because to me, like what I really enjoyed about this is how it always takes into consideration popular culture, but also the zeitgeist of certain eras within America, right? So you have Roswell, New Mexico with the aliens. You have Russia and the United States Cold War.
What's that with the aliens? I've never heard of the Roswell.
It was like a crash, an alien crash in Roswell, New Mexico.
And how long?
Area 51.
Area 51.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's what prompted Area 51, I think. And then the government began doing research on alien technology. But who's to say, and this is a conspiracy theory, who's to say that that wasn't just a kind of like a bluff, you know, to place them at the top of the totem pole in terms of arms race.
Yeah.
You know, like we have out of this world technology. We are currently developing and working side by side with alien intelligence.
Yeah.
So who knows? But my point is just that I like how it brings in real life and it balances it perfectly, almost too perfect at times, with the superheroism, right? Because even Tony Stark, like when he was being kind of tossed around at the Monaco race, he was a human before he received his suit.
Yeah.
So he can't really do much without the suit. And so that kind of just balances things out in like a very necessary way. It's not like he's Batman. Well, even Batman has to balance it out. But it's not like he's the Hulk where he can transform into Iron Man.
Yeah.
At will.
He doesn't have supernatural abilities. So he has like technology, which, you know, he uses as an advantage. Yeah.
Yeah. He's augmented. Do you want to go first or do I go first?
No, you go first. Yeah. But I had a lot of fun watching this one.
Me too. One thing that like I'm just gonna go intuitively, I guess, because I didn't really write that many notes, but I'm just gonna go intuitively. I really like how it's showing. How do I say this? It's showing his struggle with leading two lives, right? He's leading this life of being Iron Man, which in the public eye, he has to upkeep and he has to perform in a way that's satisfactory for the government, for the population, for his shareholders. So there's a lot of pressure in terms of like expectations from people who have a vested interest in what he's doing and what he's creating. And then behind closed doors, quite literally behind a glass door, he is suffering and dying, and he's going through this thing that he's just decidedly doing it alone for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
I think that it's a lesson for him in terms of internally trying to live with the realization that he is perceived as this God figure, right? As immortal, but he's struggling with his mortality behind the scenes. And in a way that most people don't get to experience, you know, like it's kind of a privilege, but it's also a curse.
I think that that's a perfect analogy for the world today, kind of. It's like the portrayal of who you are in the public eye versus whatever everyone is experiencing behind closed doors. So everything seems so picture perfect-esque. On the surface, like whatever is portrayed to the public, but then whatever's happening when no one is looking is much different. It's like everyone is kind of experiencing their own turmoils and their own struggles and their own life, essentially, like their own experiences. And I think I really like that, though. I like that Tony Stark, the person, is very relatable in a lot of ways, and then Iron Man is kind of who you aspire to be. It's who you want to be, the person that is selfless the way that Iron Man ends up becoming selfless. It's kind of like protecting others and standing for a cause, right?
Yeah.
But then the human aspect of that is what Tony Stark is. It's the internal struggles, it's the personal demons, it's like the emotional and psychological baggage, you know, which we see that he has with his father, and we see that he has, like, he's just as afraid of death as anybody else because he is human at the end of the day.
Right.
So even though he says that him and Iron Man are one, he's still human.
He's still
he's
human.
not the suit, and the suit isn't him. They're separate, even though they come together to be one. You know.
Yeah, and I think that it's important to always look at children, right? So whatever resonates with children is usually what resonates with the spirit and with the soul. So that kid wearing the Iron Man helmet shows that he is a superhero, right? So maybe he is becoming, or he's having a fun time becoming the superhero that maybe he lacked growing up in a father figure, right? Because for a young boy, usually it's the case that the father figure becomes their first superhero, right? Like, I want to be like my dad. I want to be a cop like my dad. I want to be a firefighter like my dad. I want to be a doctor like my dad. So it's always this parental guidance that maybe he lacked. And he feels this sense of kind of resentment, but also the sense of abandonment towards his father, because from all estimations, his father was too preoccupied with his own work to even pay attention to him. And then we see him repeating the same narrative in a way, because he's like in his 40s maybe, right? Or like late 30s. I don't know how old he is, but he doesn't have kids. He doesn't have a stable wife. He's still, sporadically kind of partying like a young person, even though he doesn't look that young anymore.
Oh, it was his 30th birthday.
30th birthday.
I think is what he said.
So he's having like an early onset midlife crisis of sorts, and he's partying, and he's still kind of living that bachelor lifestyle, which I think shows that he is still running away from whatever demons that he's been running away forever. And usually it's the case where the overachievers, and I can speak from personal experience from like my history as like prior to the pandemic, I was on my own entrepreneurial journey, and I was just tapped into this mindset of trying to just project and overcompensate and just trying to work myself to death, quite literally at one point, at the detriment of my health, in order to subconsciously, without even realizing it in the moment, prove to my dad, who I grew up without one, prove to my dad that I'm like worthy and like worth his time, or just like worthy kind of.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what happens when you are raised by just broken marriages kind of thing, or by a single parent. So I thought that was cool. And then he has the realization that, in fact, the whole legacy is a gift to him. And when that clicked in his brain, he immediately just got that motivation that he was needing.
Yeah, a newfound sense of purpose, I think. And then that's why at the end, it's a complete flip on its head, where he's creating a stable relationship now with someone. And meanwhile, in the movie before, he was like very deeply ingrained in like the hookup culture with like the news anchor lady and stuff, and he didn't really like take any relationship very seriously. But then him coming to the rescue of Pepper was a testament of that human aspect of him now becoming, now the ego is kind of like fading away, and something new is blossoming, which is what happens. Like, it's like a whole thing, which we'll talk more about, but with the element and stuff. But I think that it's just like a rebirth,
Absolutely. Yeah. And he's a textbook narcissist who is self-aware.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting? They say that if you're a narcissist, then you like someone who you can't say that you're a narcissist and like be a narcissist.
Someone
Does that
who's a
make
narcissist
sense?
would refuse the idea that they are diagnosed as a narcissist.
Exactly. So
they would
him
never
saying that he is a narcissist probably more so proves that he isn't really a narcissist.
Or that he's making progress.
Yeah, exactly.
So if he was like a client of mine in a clinical practice, I'd say, oh, good, we're making progress.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Stark. Yeah. But I get exactly what you're saying. And the beginning of the film, it's just pure ego right from the get. It's him boasting about how he privatized world peace.
Yeah.
And how he's like just basically turning to the government and doing the whole Napoleon thing, you know, putting the crown on himself and just, I am above everything. I am God. I am Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
So to him, I think that when he revealed his identity as Iron Man, I think that for a narcissist, that unleashed mayhem. You know, like there's no boundaries. There's no guardrails for someone like that with that much power. And then I can think of, you know, like there's also this like interesting thing at the beginning with the government trying to take hold of his weaponry, take hold of his innovation, his technology, his property, his intellectual property. I think that that's very telling of what happens with social media companies nowadays. You know, we've all kind of been exposed to what happens when, you know, a social media company kind of gets too big to the point where it's influencing elections, it's influencing politics. And it kind of reminds me of the Russian kind of like dynamic, the Russian-American dynamic, which is what we experienced with like one of the elections. But through like Facebook, for example, and you have Mark Zuckerberg going before Congress and having to testify and having to answer for just basically establishing a monopoly with technology that breaks barriers and just it's too fast, right? And that's why when it showed the panel of senators and members of Congress or government, they're all super old, super old, freckly dudes. And those are the people who are responsible for leading a country, leading it into the future.
Yeah.
Because that's the idea, right? And then the senator, like one of his opening statements was, I think that your technology, Mr. Stark, belongs to the American people, which is bullshit, right? It's like spoken like a true politician. Like it's this idea that, oh, like we're doing this for the safety of Americans. And that's how, that's how they get away with everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And then what Ivan Vanko said to Tony Stark about how, well, he was saying that his family is made of thieves and butchers, and that people like that tend to try to rewrite their history, right? But I think that that's perfectly fitting for the government, for example. It's like for these like institutions and stuff, because they rewrite history in a way that makes them not look like the bad guys. That always justifies whatever wrong action that they take, you know? And in this case, they want to seize the Iron Man suit and use it as a weapon in war. So it's the complete opposite of what Tony is realizing is the legacy that he has to like grow into. It's not about what we saw in the first movie too, which is that he was like demonstrating weapons and stuff, and then it was before he realized what the destruction of those weapons causes, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like a completely different thing. It's like he knows the power of this suit, and that's why all of these other countries are trying to mimic it, and that's why he is doing the right thing by holding on to it, because in the wrong hands, giving that kind of power can be can really like blow itself out of proportion.
Which is what happened.
Yeah.
And I think that ending scene with all those robots flying around his father's expo that his father created and started, I think that was a beautiful visual treat in terms of like metaphors, right? Like it was a metaphor for what's happening. Like his technology is responsible for destroying the foundations of the legacy that his father started, right? Or that his father left. And so the expo is quite literally exploding and crumbling and being destroyed by something that was instigated and led by Tony Stark. And it also reminds me of the old tale of Prometheus, who was a Titan, I believe. Again, I am a potato. People in the comments always like correct me, and I encourage corrections because I just talk out of my wazoo. Prometheus was a Titan who, before the creation of mankind, there was the fight between the Titans and the gods in Greek mythology. And then Prometheus was a Titan along with his brother. I forget his brother's name. I think it's like Epimetheus or something like that with an E. But both of them decided to side on the side of the gods and help the gods. And so, like basically, like Zeus allowed, Zeus tasked Prometheus with the task of creating humans and creating all the animals and all the living things. And then essentially Prometheus did something where he pissed off Zeus and he tricked him. And then Zeus, as a punishment, took away fire from the creations of Prometheus.
Yes, I do know this story.
And then, like, because Zeus wanted humans to be subservient to the gods, and Zeus viewed humans as this subspecies that's obedient and dependent entirely on the gods. And then Prometheus looked at his crude creations kind of and established an attachment because it was made in his image and in the image of the Titans and the gods. And he sympathized with his creation, and so he went up to Mount Olympus and he stole fire from the gods and then gave it back to the humans. And so with the fire that Prometheus gave his creations, humans decided to do what we've done, which is you can use fire to nourish yourself, cook food, build infrastructure, or you can use fire to build weapons, destroy infrastructure.
Yeah.
And so fire is quite literally a double-edged sword.
It
you can generate a sword or you can generate cooked meat.
Yeah.
And it's all dependent on like what your intentions are and what your ideologies are. And I feel like Tony Stark is my point. Like, he is Prometheus. He brought fire to humanity. He brought this innovation that is as nuanced as fire itself. It's like he created a new element.
Yeah.
Right. So imagine the first person to ever spark wood together and or spark
rocks or whatever.
together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to make a fire.
They all get excited. They're like, ah!
but you spark and you make fire. Like, you're the first dude on Earth to
Imagine
be like,
that.
like, what did I do? So it's like, I was just playing with fire. I was just playing with rocks. I like playing with rocks. And then boom, fire. But that was the first Tony Stark, and this is the other Tony Stark, you know? So my point is that his technology, just like you said, if it falls in the wrong hands, this fire, it's going to forge things that are going to lead to more destruction.
Yeah.
And if it falls in the right hands, which I don't know if it's the guy with the eye patch, maybe, but at least, at the very least, in Tony Stark's hands.
Yeah. I was going to say that... Speaking of like speaking of his innovation, right? I think that it's so insane just how highly intelligent he is.
He's a genius.
Like, just innovative, like you said. Yeah, like a genius. And it's interesting, right? Because you would think that, he's this privileged person, right? He's privileged in the sense that he's wealthy and he's kind of secure in that aspect. It's like
he's set.
Yeah, like he doesn't really need to do anything kind of to sustain himself. Like, he can probably live off of what his dad built until he dies, and then
for
that's
multiple generations.
Yeah, and then not really like innovate anything really different. Just continue on with whatever his dad created, and that's it. But what's interesting is that he is, like, despite having this legacy that was kind of like set in place for him by his dad, he is very much his own individual person, and he still proves that it's not the money, but rather the hard work and the intellect that really like sets you apart, and that really allows you to apply yourself in a different way. Because Justin Hammer, like, he has money too, but he doesn't have that kind of like innovative thinking that Tony has.
No, he doesn't.
So I think that like it's really interesting. It's like the dynamics are really cool because they're supposed to be the same person.
Yeah, they are the same character.
Yeah.
But different decisions were made by like both characters. So one is motivated by this need to prove himself, to like, I don't know, like I think both of them are still trying to prove themselves. I feel like Justin Hammer is a guy who is motivated by profit, by gain, right, by the material world and the matrix of existence. Like he's very like focused and like channeled and tapped into the politics and the money aspects. And then Tony Stark, I feel like he is trying to get the approval of his father, and I don't know how to explain it, but Justin Hammer gives me the vibes of a spoiled rich kid.
Yeah.
Like that's what he is.
I think that Justin Hammer, the difference is this for me, is that when I look at Tony Stark, like even though he's able to do what he does and what he has because of his like wealth, if you think about the scene where he's in the cave, right? He doesn't have all of the things that he has in the Stark Industries, right? So even with that, even with scraps in a cave, he's able to create, right?
Yeah.
But with Justin Hammer, he completely relies on on that innovation coming from others, which is why he uses Ivan Vanko, because he can't do it for himself. And so that's what the difference is. It's that even though they both have the same kind of foundational similarities, which is the wealth, like they both do have that. They both have like influence, right? It's like they're both in the same industry and whatever. And it's like kind of like this competition for Justin. The difference is that he just doesn't compare on that level at all.
He doesn't get his hands dirty.
Yeah.
Because it shows Tony Stark drilling holes on the floor and getting a jackhammer and actually breaking down walls. And he does everything. He has the assistance of his AI assistant.
Yeah.
But it's for the most part, he is giving the commands, right? So in the sense of Justin, like he just gives orders and barks orders at people and then expects money to solve everything, which he found with Ivan. Is it Ivan?
Ivan, yeah.
With Ivan isn't motivated by money.
Yeah, he's not.
So like, how do you deal with that? And then you see that he struggles, and then he tries to find some form of weakness. Oh, the bird, like he has a connection with the bird and this and that. But then even when he lost his bird the first time, he quickly learned from it because he's been experiencing kind of how to cope with loss is what I picked up from Ivan with his father passing away.
Right in the beginning.
And then losing his bird. And then he gets this other bird, which isn't even really his bird. And he loses it too. But then you can see him just coping with it. I think those are called mandalas or something. If you know the name, those bulky, round, circular beads that Buddhists usually use. But he was trying to just ground himself and cope and just breathe, just you know?
Yeah.
Because he's not motivated by money.
I don't fault him. I think exactly what you're saying. If he was motivated by money, then he probably would have already kind of sought to destroy Stark Industries sooner, right? But I think that it was in the passing of his father, because his father was sick, and seeing the life that Tony is living, which is this, again, very secure life. It's very just healthy, wealthy, great. And then he's living in poverty in Russia. And his dad falls ill, and his dad is like, that's why he's like coughing up a storm, and then his dad dies.
And his dad said in the beginning that, Ivan, this was supposed to be you.
That should be you, yeah.
That should be you, yeah.
But then what's interesting is that I just wonder what the backstory is. Like if they were already plotting kind of revenge against Stark Industries because of, you know, Howard Stark getting him deported because he had like a money interest and stuff, and he was kind of in it for the wrong reasons. Or if this just sprouted from seeing Tony Stark on the screen with the Iron Man suit and, you know, proclaiming that he's Iron Man. So I wonder, like, where did this revenge plot start? Because it is completely like a vengeance plot.
Yeah, I think that Tony and Ivan are the same people.
Yeah.
I think that both of them are geniuses.
Yeah, they are.
but one is fueled by revenge and the other is fueled by basically public acceptance and like validation. But we see that he's learning how to do the good for the sake of doing good.
Mm-hmm.
So one's heroic and one represents the trope of the fallen genius.
Yeah.
You know, who becomes the mad, evil scientist in a lab and the genius. So I think that it's also a story of conflicting legacies, right?
Yeah.
Like one is a legacy of alcoholism, failure, fallen scientists, and the other is of a successful billionaire magnate who changes the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then both sons now have to compete against each other to kind of establish a balance or order again in the universe for everyone. And the only way to do that is that one legacy has to prevail and the other has to kind of just die away.
And it's both their fathers.
It's
so it's
both
like
fathers, yeah.
which father's legacy is
My dad's better than your dad.
It's like wait till my
No.
father hears about this.
Yeah, wait till my father is. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to go through these notes real quick, even though I didn't really take notes. Russia, Moscow, Cold War, which again, the arms race, right? Russia versus the U.S. We had a whole thing in history, so that's cool. Howard Stark, Anton Vanko, Expo. Oh, the Stark Expo. The way it's filmed and shot, if you guys want to pause this video, open a new tab, go on YouTube, and then type in, what's the name? Walt Disney Epcot Expo. It's literally, it's like a 30-minute video, but it was filmed for the shareholders and investors in Disney World.
I think I've seen that.
Like at the start, like at the genesis of Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Walt Disney who they inspired Howard Stark after in this movie. It's the same exact thing. The mannerisms, the walk, the leaning on a table, Disney World in the back, like a miniature model of it.
Even their appearance, I feel like they have like
Yeah.
a very similar appearance because I kind
They
of
do.
thought of it. But that makes sense, right? Because it's Disney, right?
Mhm.
So it's like a little Easter egg right there.
Yeah.
That's really, I feel like they're very good at putting in like subtle Easter eggs, which is one that I want to point out later because it was like so in your face. Like it seems subtle, but I immediately like picked up on it because it's very popular. But when Nick Fury comes comes up for the first time, right? When Tony's like eating the donuts and
Mhm.
stuff in the concrete, it was so weird because it was just right there. It was 3:16, which is the Bible verse in the passage, which I don't know the name, but it's the one where it says, "And God gave His only Son."
Oof.
And it's that specific passage, but I just know it because of the 3:16. Like it's the
Wow.
passage about God giving His only Son.
I didn't even pick up on that. I did pick up on the Dr. Pepper thing.
Yeah.
With Pepper Potts. I thought that was really funny.
And they had more of it, like billboards it was showing.
Really?
Yeah, they did. And Kodak. So there's definitely like brand placements all around.
Which I wonder, like, is that how they get these movies financed? Is that you leverage exposure to major brands? Because the CEO of Oracle, which we did we did a TikTok ad for Oracle,
Yes,
right?
we did too, I think. Yeah. I
No,
think
for Opera.
Opera, yeah.
Opera,
It's a different name. Opera, yeah.
We've worked with Opera before, but Oracle, and then the glass dome that gets shattered
Yeah.
is owned by Oracle. Like it had Oracle's name on it.
Huh.
So I think it's all product placement, and I would bet that that's how they get it financed, which makes sense. You know, it's like it's a huge motion picture. It's distributed by Paramount.
Yeah, Audi gets to place their cars in there and then get a little sponsor.
And it's funny that in the post-credit scene, it showed an Acura, but it had the logo covered.
Oh,
It's so funny.
Yeah,
It's like
that makes.
it's like they couldn't afford another Audi. That's crazy.
They were like, we can't like shout out that brand, kind of, you know.
It's like in the contract, exclusive license.
Only Audi can appear in this movie.
That's crazy. Disney reference was really cool how they did that thing. And it's also interesting too, because in this actual real life footage of Walt Disney explaining his vision, he basically explains it as if it's a test run model for the future cities, for all future cities across America. And I think that that's what he leveraged in order to convince investors to really place their foot in that project, because otherwise, if he just said that it was just for the sake of fantasy and like market and just all that stuff, I don't think it would have gotten that much level of interest.
Yeah.
But he was selling it as if it's like every major city is going to be replicated off of this. And so he had this innovative vision for a way of living, which Howard Stark had an innovative way of looking at energy that's more sustainable and less costly to the environment and to human beings.
And since you pointed that out, there's actually a crazy parallel now that I think about it. But the story of Walt Disney is actually really interesting. And I don't know if it's 100% true, but I saw it in a post on Facebook. but the story of Walt Disney is that he tried and failed multiple times in creating Disney World, right? And he actually passed away before it came into full fruition.
What?
But then his brother, before he died, he passed a message on to his brother asking for him to just please, like, my only wish is that you just complete Walt Disney World for me, Disney World for me. And then as a memory to his brother, to his younger brother, because Walt Disney is younger, I think, he named it Walt Disney World.
Wow.
And then he brought it into full fruition. And then that's what's happening here.
Yes.
It's Howard Stark passing the legacy on to Tony and kind of saying, like, listen, like, just do this. And, it's like kind of the same thing. It's the passing of the legacy. It's the passing of the torch and bringing these ideas, these revolutionary ideas into existence, like into fruition.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting how you have to look to the past?
Yeah.
In order to gain the knowledge and the information for the advancements of the future.
Yes, which is what was set up. Why they were like, you have to sit down and you have to go through all these things that your dad left here in this thing, and then he ends up finding all of the answers.
Yeah, and it also ties into the whole idea of seeking signs and synchronicities and just listening to the universe when it speaks to you, because all of that could be interpreted as divine intervention, divine timing. Like it was the perfect pivotal moment when he finally unearths his father's legacy, looks at it, and doesn't look away from it out of whatever preconceived notion that maybe his mother told him about his father. And what's interesting too is that another difference between Tony Stark and Justin Hammer is the sense of humor. And what I've read recently in terms of like psychologically, something along the lines of children who are born in families where they're raised mainly by the mother and the father is either emotionally unavailable or just not present at all, the child develops a knack for humoring his mother in order to gain her love. And I was like, I think it was a podcast where I heard this, but it made so much sense to me. And then Tony Stark is just snarky. Everybody loves him. Every joke, every statement just hits.
Yeah.
Like everybody just laughs and just hits the right way. And then you see Justin Hammer trying to be all self-absorbed on stage, but nobody really likes him.
And isn't Stark, like the meaning of Stark, kind of
stark realization.
Yeah, but like sharpness, like you can interchange it with like being snarky and witty and kind of sharp.
Yeah.
It's like quick.
Stark.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's like very unyielding kind of, you know?
Like just by saying it, I thought of Hawk. Stark. Hawk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's interesting. No, it makes sense.
Like he's just on it.
He's
just on it. But that's something also that money can't buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like money can't buy charisma.
It can't.
Which is what he has. And his charisma is worth way more money than anything else, I think. Because
I think so too.
Because he like, also it's a testament too, because I truly believe that it's a testament to true genius. True genius has to be coupled with a good sense of humor, because life itself is worthy of laughing at, right? Because you could either cry about life and about the inevitability of death and how we're all just gonna corrode and pass away, and that's what kind of like liberates me more and more to come on YouTube and just show my face and just go on TikTok and just be a creator, because I just am coming to this realization the older I get that none of this really matters.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, but all of it matters, which is the paradox. Everything matters. I take nothing for granted. I'm learning to be grateful for everything, the good and the bad. But the fact of the matter is, you're going to be buried or cremated or however you prefer, but you're going to cease to exist. I'm going to cease to exist. You're going to cease to exist. And so how do you cope with the weight and the burden of impending doom and destruction? You can cope with it by being sad or by being happy. And then how do you build happiness and how do you fuel that happiness? It has to be by having a good humor, a good sense of humor.
I've been realizing that for myself too. It's like usually when I sit down to do these videos, I'm like so much more in my head about like, what to say after, like during the discussions and stuff, because most of it is winging it, and I'm much more of a potato than you are. It's like
we're both potatoes.
I didn't even know about the freaking Mexico thing and the aliens. It's like I live under a rock. Okay,
Call me Patrick Star.
Yeah, if I was a character, I would be Patrick Star.
Oh, SpongeBob.
Well, I wumbo, you wumbo, he, she, we wumbo.
I would love to
Wumbology,
the
science
of I would love for us to rewatch SpongeBob, because I haven't watched SpongeBob since I was like a kid.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever watched like the full thing. I've definitely missed like a few dozen episodes. But I would love for us to rewatch SpongeBob and then try to have these like discussions watching SpongeBob.
I'm a SpongeBob kid.
SpongeBob
100%
was so amazing. SpongeBob was the best, I think, show.
I think it is. I think it is the best cartoon ever. Like, I don't know what it's like nowadays. Like, I don't know if they're
aged well.
I've seen their new movies, which is kind of off topic here, guys, but I've seen their new movies and they're doing like the 3D animation thing, which I heard it's because like 3D animation is much easier to do than 2D. And so they have like the bulky kind of SpongeBob thing going on.
I think I've seen that on Twitter. I've seen like GIFs and like videos of it.
Yeah, I just saw like the cover for it on like Netflix when I was scrolling, and I was like, oh no.
Don't ruin SpongeBob, guys.
SpongeBob.
Come on, please. I can't live in a world where SpongeBob's ruined.
But yeah, anyways.
Preserve something good. Let something good die. It's like that's part of life, isn't it? It's like let something good die. But like people cling and grasp at straws in terms of like legacy, and it's talking about legacy, right? It's like that's another great example. Is that usually, I forget what the rule is. I think it's that generational wealth usually ends after a certain amount of generations, because someone eventually loses touch with reality, right? And forgets, like the person who creates the wealth is motivated by different things than the person who just receives it.
Yeah.
So it eventually ends. And I think that that's what happens with anything good, when it's not really passed along in a way that's mindful and respectful. You know, it's like, yeah.
That's, man.
Okay. So toxicity level question mark. I wrote this the first time it popped up. Palladium core is what I wrote down. The palladium core. Palladium core.
Yeah. What is palladium?
I've never heard of palladium.
And that sucks because I went to college for biology, and I took a bunch of science classes, and I can't tell you what palladium is.
I have no idea, but I do like the irony of the thing that gives him his power is also the thing that is stripping his life away.
Yeah.
And I like that, and I like how it's his heart, which we touched on in the first one. I like how, I don't know, like I just like the idea, the irony of it. You know, it's just very poetic. It's very beautiful. Civil liberty versus government control. It's what we touched on in the beginning, where the government is trying to apprehend your creativity, and then Tony Stark is kind of again standing up for his technology and standing up for the safety and the betterment of the world, and so he's Prometheus, and he's defending his creation, and he's defending his tools.
Yeah.
Make God bleed. Blood in the water attracts the sharks. That thing is gonna stick with me for a while. It's like once you make God bleed, people stop believing in God. But what's interesting is that usually it's the case, like if you got the Bible, it's the case that when God bleeds, that's when people believe in God the most, because it's not the bleeding and the dying aspect, it's the resurrection.
Yeah.
So the selling point in the book, the Bible, is the resurrection. That's what makes everything worth it, right? Because up until the part of death and torture and suffering and being crucified and meeting in untimely demise, that's shared. Like that, everybody knows that. But then it's the resurrection. It's the seeing it through, even through the worst, and retaining your moral compass and your ethical beliefs and your integrity as a human, as a man, as a woman. It's like it's when you hold steadfast through the storm, which is what we saw in Interstellar.
Yeah.
It's like don't go quiet into the night. It's like you can't go quiet into the night, but then you don't go into the night screaming. You go into the night just like Ivan was, ironically, who in this movie is the antagonist. He's the villain, but he has a lot of good qualities to him too. Like he's not entirely bad, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
I think it's just misdirected genius.
I think that if anything, Justin Hammer would be considered more bad than Ivan. I think in terms of like motives and stuff. But what's interesting about that quote, right? If you make God bleed, then people cease to believe in him. I think that what's interesting is, well, obviously it was like a metaphor for Iron Man, right? If I can make you bleed, then people will kind of cease to believe in you and your powers and your kind of this like whole this whole kind
perception of immortality.
That the government has shown interest in and stuff with Sue and whatever. But then, hold on. But then what's interesting is that if you think about that concept, right, of like making God bleed, because Jesus is one thing and God is another, because God doesn't have a body, right? Because God, in any religion, in any way of seeing it, God is just an essence, more so than not really a man per se, right? It's not.
God can't be known by the limited capabilities of the human existence.
So making God bleed, which is something that's impossible, then yes, people would cease to believe in him. Does that make sense? It's kind of like if you could do the impossible,
right?
Then
do the impossible. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I think that if you make like when a superhero bleeds, then it creates more relatability.
Yes.
Because vulnerability is power.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the superhero in all of us. It's being vulnerable, it's recognizing our own faults, our own limitations, but then not succumbing to time and just allowing yourself to decay and just fall away at the wayside. You know, like you have to be proactive, be innovative, And it just so happens to be one of the key kind of models for the American way, right? It's innovation. It's always like forethought, which is what Prometheus means. Like the name Prometheus means forethought.
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah. So making God bleed would kind of do the opposite. And then every time Ivan would lose, he would tell Tony that he has lost.
Huh.
And I didn't really understand what he meant by that.
I think that, you lose. Yeah, that was interesting.
And then I just also liked the contrast aspects. Like it started in the beginning with a cold, wintry, kind of moody, kind of just cold color grading.
Yeah.
You know, just a cold atmosphere. And then it transitions to this high octane lifestyle.
Vibrant.
He's jumping off like out of an airplane for fun. He's in the Iron Man suit. He's living the life. And then meanwhile, Ivan has grown up with an alcoholic father who is bitter, resentful, a failure. And then his son is trying to redeem his father and trying to maybe appease his father and make sure that his father rests finally, you know, knowing that his son did what he tried doing but couldn't accomplish or made right what had been made wrong.
Yeah, it's like carrying the name of your family, kind of. It's like he has to bring some kind of like redemptive qualities to his name and to his father's name. And then the same thing for Tony. It's like he has to continue upholding the Stark kind of reputation.
Yes.
And so that's what they both have, but it just so happens that Ivan is starting from like a very low kind of reputation that his father has, or rather like a low... I don't know the word I'm looking for. I don't know why I just started like blanking out a little bit.
That's okay. But to the point that you're making about how one thing that really stood out to me is basically Ivan was shown in this lower end home, right? He was creating everything in this small how do you say it? Claustrophobic?
Yeah, like
it's
claustrophobic.
It's like small, incubated, claustrophobic environment. And then when you cut to Tony Stark, he has this open room, open setup with all these hot rods and all this technology, this opulence. And he has so much space to work, you know, like he walks through, he glides through on his chair, and he just does it so seamlessly because he has all the resources. But then Ivan doesn't do it bitterly. Like he does it and he finds joy in what he does. And so you can tell also that, for example, the fact that Ivan creates, and when he's creating, you could tell that he taps into a zone. Like he gets into the zone. He enjoys it. You can tell that he just kind of like blurs out and just cancels out all the noise around him. And he's just hacking and he's being an engineer and he's engineering, building, constructing. So that's proof that it's just misguided genius. You know, it's just... He wasn't given the right opportunities. He could have been an ally of Tony Stark. He could have been his friend. He could have been a supporter, a collaborator, but he ended up being his enemy.
Yeah. Because
of this idea that this person caused all of the chaos and all of the hurt and pain that I had to feel. And it's the idea of fairness too, which Justin Hammer even brought up. He said that it's not fair that Tony Stark is keeping all of these goodies to himself. But the idea of fairness is also just completely relative. It's like, who's to say?
Yeah, who decides what is fair and what isn't? It's like that, like he can't control that he was blessed in that way, you know, blessed with the mind that he has and blessed with the wealth that he has. Like he can't control that, you know?
Yeah, we all just have to play the best we can with the cards we're dealt.
Speaking of cards, it's so funny. You just led me right perfectly into my next point.
My trap.
It was the perfect segue because listen, what was on, I don't know if I saw this right, guys, because I really try to pick up on the little details, and it happened so quickly, but I saw it on Ivan's hands. Each of his knuckles.
I saw the numbers.
One of them had numbers, but one of the other hand had the suits of cards.
Oh.
It had like the spade and the club and the heart, I'm pretty sure, and the diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was interesting now after the fact in the end, because you can associate cards with like gambling, for instance, right? Ooh. It's like gambling. And his whole kind of ordeal that I kind of picked up on was that he was willing to gamble away his life for this motive that he had, for this motive of vengeance.
Much to lose.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like that quote that if you seek the journey of vengeance, right, then be ready to dig 2 graves.
Ooh.
You know?
One for you and one for...
And that's what he did. And then I think that maybe that's why he says you lose. Because...
Oh, he treats everything like a game.
Yeah, it's like it was him losing, but I don't know. It's just... There's something there.
Yeah. But the contrast is cool. The going from a prison cell, the back of a van, to a jet hangar, having 5-star meals. You know, it's just a contrast between Tony Stark eating on a jet is so crazy because it's the complete polar opposites, right? It's like, what's the most lavish thing that a human being can do is live a lavish life at the highest altitude.
Yeah, untouched.
Which people used to, untouched and just completely in your own space, like your own airspace, in your own plane, in your own jet, cooking your own food, making your own thing. And it equates with like ancient tales of living on top of a mountain. It's where the gods would live, on Mount Olympus. So it's always on the highest plane because it's also viewed as the bridge between this world and the next world. And so the higher you get on this planet, on this plane of existence, the idea is that the closer you are to God.
Yeah.
And that's why there's the Mount Sinai,
yeah.
right, in the Bible. There's all these mountains in different mythologies and different religions. And that's usually where the prophet receives the otherworldly advice.
And that's why they say that, and that's why planes are in the shape of birds, and birds are said to be the messengers from the heavens, right? Yes. It's like because they are able to reach that altitude, and so that's what it is.
And there's another cool contrast too with Batman. In Batman, like when Bruce Wayne has the epiphany that he has to become something eternal, something like I forget what he says, but he says that he has to be something.
He has to become a symbol, right?
A symbol.
Yeah.
That as a man he can be corrupted, he can be killed. And there's a fly in the basement. I'm gonna just get the fly out of here, guys, and then we'll be right back. So we had to remove our unwanted guest.
Sorry.
Who was a huge fly who's flying all around the lights, and we have like lights turned on for the camera, and it's very distracting because then I have ADHD.
Yeah. If I had seen it, I would not be able to pay attention. Thank God I'm turned like this.
Self-diagnosed. I was like looking at it. I was like listening to you, and I was like,
I know. I saw your eyes kind of wandering. I was like, hello, right here.
I'm right here. Dealing with karma is my next one. So there's this idea that there are like 3 forms of karma. Like karma is threefold. So there's generational karma, which is accumulated by your ancestors, right? Those that have come before you, they've done things, committed atrocities, committed mistakes, and then their lineage has to deal and account for those mistakes and make those wrongs right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the karma that's ripening in the current moment that you're in. So from all the karma that your ancestors have accumulated for you to handle, you get exposed to one by one gradually, obviously. Like you don't get exposed to all of the karmic things all at once.
Yeah.
So that's the second type of karma. And then the third one is the karma that you yourself set for your future and for your generation. And then that's when legacy is kind of preferred over debt, right? So you want to leave a legacy and not leave debt for your kids and for your children.
Yeah.
So this is a movie about karma. It's about legacy, karma, and yeah, I just wanted to like point that out.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense because Howard Stark is still responsible for the creation of the weapons, right? And so that's the cross or the past sins that Tony has to carry.
Right.
Until he decides that that's no longer until he decides that he is going to save the world instead of contributing to its destruction, essentially, you know? But I think that that's interesting because even though he inherits all of the great things that his dad leaves behind, he also inherits the bad ones. And that's why he also inherits it emotionally too, like the emotional damage of it.
The trauma, which Nietzsche would talk about the will to power, which is the idea that one seeks power not just for outward domination, but also for the overcoming of the self.
Yeah.
And so when you're trying to overcome yourself and outgrow yourself and trying to just like evolve as a spiritual being, as a mortal being, as a father, as a label, whatever label you have, then that is more sustainable than the sake of domination for the sake of domination.
Yeah.
And that's what Justin Hammer is. And he shows us that. Like, he wants to profit for the sake of profit. He wants to excel for the sake of excelling. He's not motivated by the overcoming of the self and the evolution of himself. He's not he's not doing the inner work, which is dealing with his own childhood trauma, his own father issues, his own whatever it is, you know?
And isn't that beautiful too? Like, if you think about it, the Iron Man suit is constantly evolving, right? And it takes different forms, but it's just a metaphor for what's going on with Tony Stark. It's a metaphor for what he's doing internally, the internal work, because we have a completely different person at the end of this movie than we did at the beginning of the last movie.
Or at the beginning of this one.
Or even at the beginning of this one. And so it's like, not only does the suit advance and transform and kind of like improve, but he does too. Yeah. He becomes sharper. He understands himself more, and then that just helps in the unison of him and the suit together.
And I think that the flaw with Justin Hammer's design with his automated robots was shown when the robot was aiming at the kid. Because if it were a soldier in the suit, a human being, then there would be an element of empathy and sympathy and recognizing that that's a child. And that it's not an enemy. But the fact that that small mistake was going to cost that child's life. And then it shows that that is the big difference. And then also in the quality. So there's appearance, presentation versus demonstration. At the end, they literally showed us that.
Yeah.
Because he was discussing, what's the difference? Is that presentation is all for image. It's the image, it's the narrative, it's the propaganda that you're trying to disseminate and trying to shove down people's throats. And this movie started by showing us that it's going to be a movie about narratives and propaganda. So who's the reliable narrator here? Like, we don't know, because at one point, Tony is intoxicated. So if you're reading a book and the author is writing it while intoxicated, are you going to trust the words that the author is writing? The odds that you're going to take everything with a grain of salt. So the intoxication of the hero means that the hero has to be saved. And then we always look at who saves the hero when the hero needs saving.
Yeah.
And those are the people that in these stories, just like Frodo and Sam.
Yeah.
Frodo and Gandalf. Frodo and Aragorn, right? So it's like these people save each other as heroes, and that's what reinstates their position within that circle.
Yes.
And makes them an undeniable force in order to make the hero function properly. Because Tony Stark was spiraling while sitting in the hot rod, which from my interpretation was probably some like semblance of connection that he might have had with his father. Like maybe his father loved cars, and then that's why he has a fascination and an obsession of cars, especially old school cars. And all of his screensavers had this specific model, which I don't know. I'm assuming that maybe that's his dad's favorite car, and he was sitting in his dad's car or that old car, and he was watching all these things, and he's at 80% with palladium poisoning, and he feels defeated. And then his best friend comes in and starts telling him like, oh, like you have to do this and you're a mess or whatever, until he looks him in the eye. Right? Because I don't know if this part's going to make sense, but to me it's like this. You don't feel someone's pain unless you look them in the eye.
Yeah.
It's like the eyes are the windows to the soul. That's what Shakespeare says, right? So I feel like when he walks into Tony's laboratory, up until the point of him meeting Tony eye to eye, he's basically resentful towards Tony, mad at Tony, because he's mad at the idea and the personification and the character of Tony Stark publicly. But then when he looks at him in the eyes, he sees his friend. And he sees that his friend is not doing good.
Yeah.
And then he carries his friend out of the car, and his friend stumbles out, which is Tony. Like Tony stumbles out of the car. He can barely stand on his feet, and he's being crucified literally by the public media, and all of this weight on him. And he seems like a guy who is always thinking, like his brain is always on, because maybe that's how he was taught, that he can't rely on anybody because his dad never accepted help from anybody, or at least showed that. And so he picked up on that, and he has to be the one with the answers until he meets his father again, and his father gives him new answers.
Yes.
And so I just like that idea. I don't even know where that came from, but I'll just leave it there.
And what's crazy that you mention it is it was like very briefly mentioned when Justin Hammer was like talking about the thing, and then he said that this is his Pieta, which is the sculpture of Mary holding Jesus's body, right? And I think that, to your point, maybe that's a metaphor for what Pepper serves in Tony's life, because her name is Virginia, which is like virgin, which means pure, Virgin Mary. Yeah. So then it's like when they said it, I was like, oh my God, it all kind of makes sense. It's like she's the Virgin Mary, right? And that's why they threw in this other woman who's like a little bit more promiscuous and more kind of like
temptress.
Yeah, exactly. Like a little bit more in that regard. And then there's Pepper, who's just very much like just this empowered woman, and then her name being Virginia. And then to your point is that it's like this the saving, it's like the same way that Rhodey does it for him, and looking into the eyes, it's like she can look into the windows of his soul too. And she's the only one who's able to really do that fully, because she understands like the human aspect of him and not the persona. It's like she understands the persona, and that's why she doesn't like criticize him, and she doesn't really judge him and stuff. But then she also understands the human essence of him.
She understands that the persona is a coping mechanism.
Yes,
because like that's
exactly.
why she laughs off his coping mechanisms, which is women, party, alcohol. And it's also funny like that her name is Virginia, which I completely overlooked, and his mother's name was Maria.
Yeah.
So it's Mary, Virgin.
Oh my gosh.
So, and the idea is that most men, if not every man, tends to fall in love or seek out their mothers in their partners, and vice versa, to like a very significant degree, I think, So that's what we saw with Harry Potter. Like Harry seeks out Ginny, or they find each other, and they're destined to find each other because he's the chosen one, and he saves her from the Chamber of Secrets. So destiny plays a role. I don't think that we get to really choose. I think that free will is just to make a decision when we're presented with our predestined events, right? It's like, what do you do when you're placed in these chapters of your life? But I think that a lot of things are kind of like in sync and in flow with the universe and how things flow and work.
Yeah.
And then it's the art of Wu Wei, which is non-action. It's action through non-action. So you flow on a river by surrendering, right? If you don't surrender, then you're going to drown, or you're going to just try to fight against the current, which you can't win ever.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, like I was gonna reference Avatar, but I don't want to give anything away when we do watch it. But
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah. But it's like a similar concept of like the art of doing nothing, kind of, you know, which
of just surrendering.
Exactly.
Yeah. One thing that I really loved was the scene of the party. I really love that scene because I think that it just also shows that with great power, like you can't let go of the responsibility. It's like, right? It's like, what's a man to gain the world but lose his soul type of thing.
Yeah.
So he was becoming soulless and losing himself through alcohol, through vices. And then you see the chaos that comes with that and the lack of accountability that comes with that. So it's one of those like old stories of the billionaire's son ends up having an accident, and then somebody disappears, and then they're kind of just given this, but then another family that's less fortunate has to deal with the weight of losing someone.
Yeah.
But because this person is well connected and they have money and they have resources, nothing really happens to them other than like, don't do that again. It's like don't drink and drive because you cost this person or their life essentially.
Yeah, like the consequences aren't as dire.
Yeah.
It's more swept under the rug.
Yeah. And then it's all about just finding key plot points that suit your narrative. So that's what it took for Rhodey to kind of go onto the side of the government, because he saw Tony Stark as a liability more than he saw him as an empowered superhero. And so that's why he tried to stop him, essentially, you know.
And I finally connected it, and it completely makes sense now, because he's a military man, right? And their whole thing is about duty and honor and service, right? It's like it's those three kind of valued things coupled together. And so seeing Tony kind of like spiraling, right? And he was doing it as like a coping mechanism, right? It was like self-sabotaging, it's self-destructive behaviors because he was basically dying. But seeing that kind of flip that switch in him of the military persona in him. So now it was no longer him seeing his best friend, but him kind of embodying what he knows as like a colonel. That's his standing or whatever. I think it's a colonel.
He's a high-ranking military officer.
But then in that sense, like you even catch it, like he seeks the approval of his authorities a lot, which like, or at least like some form of validation, because when they say like good job, or he gets like the pin, like you can tell that he feels very rewarded in that sense. And that's what the military kind of instills in them. It's like this idea that if you do your duty and honor, then that's the best reward that you can get. And so there isn't like this individualistic kind of reward like catered specifically to you. It's like the reward is for the greater good kind of thing, you know? And so that's what the pins and the medals and stuff always represents, that you did good by society by doing this thing. And so that's kind of the responsibility that he takes on when he puts on the War Machine suit, and then, you know.
Yeah, they're like, the military instills in its soldiers that hierarchy is a good thing because organization is essential and structure is essential in order to obtain progress. And so you know your place within a hierarchy, and you honor your place within a hierarchy because you view yourself as this irreplaceable component that is responsible for making the entire unit work properly. And so it's very honorable because it teaches you how to work well in structures and in units. And that's why they all have such strong bonds. Like people who are ex-military, usually like they never are ex-military. Like you have that heart, that military-esque heart forever. You know, and I know people who have served in the military, and they all kind of say the same thing. It's like there's a camaraderie, there's a
camaraderie. I was gonna say,
yeah. So, but I think that in this universe, in Tony Stark's universe, these people are all parts of him, right? So Ivan is what happens if his genius goes astray and is mishandled, and he decides to use it for evil and for destruction and for chaos. Justin Hammer is his entrepreneurial self, and that's what happens if he just loses all ethical reasonability and he doesn't have any moral compass, completely devoid of any true substance or meaning or purpose, and he just wants to be liked and accepted and just wants to win the game of life. That's what would happen. And then the last one is Rhodey. Rhodey is the hyper-disciplined kind of soldier. It's like in line. You know, like you are not only part of the system, but you are an essential part to making the system propagate itself even further and to work even more efficiently. So you are a soldier, but you are also a high-ranking military officer who maintains order, but also is a harbinger of destruction and chaos to other people, to your enemies, quote unquote, you know? And whatever makes someone an enemy is very debatable, because we see that the politicians are trying to paint Tony Stark as an enemy of the state, of the country, and trying to make him out as being someone who is irresponsible and who isn't, you know.
Which they do with Batman in the Dark Knight trilogy too.
Yes.
But what's interesting,
and Hulk too.
Yeah, to the point of Rhodey, right? Think about the name of the suit that he takes. It's the War Machine, right? And that's how they treat soldiers, though. It's like soldiers are treated like kind of machines for war. And that's what weapons are. They're machines for war. It's very interesting that he's a former, like not former, but he's a military man. And then he takes on the suit, the War Machine suit. And
he's very disposable too.
Yes, because the way that soldiers or like military is treated kind of is that everyone is a cog in the machine, right? And just like you're saying, it's like everyone serves an essential part, but essentially there's a bigger machine and you're just a cog in this machine. It's like you
are only privy to the information that enables you to assume your position within this machine. It's like you can't know more than your rank. And so that's what they teach too, is that you stay within your rank and you never reach above your rank.
Yes.
And that's why there was a scene when somebody above Rhodey said that's an order. And then all Rhodey could do is just swallow his pride and just say, yes, sure.
And then the contrast of that is what Tony Stark is and what he stands for, which is pushing boundaries. It's like there is no limit, there is no restraints, and that's why he's probably going to continue adapting this suit to do much more like revolutionizing things, right? It's like it's not going to just stop and end here, right? But then if it were turned over to the government, then it would kind of be like okay, we decide now what the limitations are and we set the restrictions in place and the restraints.
Right.
But Tony Stark is individuality. It's like he is like individualism.
You know what the name for that is? Nietzsche calls that the Übermensch. And the Übermensch is basically the ideal man who establishes his own more like ethical code.
Yeah.
It's like you operate by your own rules, which is what Tony Stark did.
Yes, he does.
It's like he's he's meeting before the government, and he's just on his phone, and he's hacking the systems, and he's blowing kisses at senators, and so like there's no like idea of being in line with anything. Like he's his own being, and he's kind of a wild card, and that's what you have to be on this earth. Because he's also having a midlife crisis of sorts. He's coping with his own mortality. With his own mortality, coffee burps. With his own mortality, and no,
I get that too.
Get me a lot, and it's also It's almost 2 a.m. It's 1:37 right now. So my brain is half a fart.
Your brain is highly capable.
There was one thing. There was one more thing. What were we talking about? We were talking about what were you talking about?
Oh man. Individuality. Talking about how he pushes the boundaries, the limitations.
Oh, okay. That the military, when they got access to the information and to the technology, what they did was they did a horizontal expansion, which is when they just prioritize quantity over quality.
Exactly.
And there's a book called 0 to 1, and it basically teaches you that you want to aspire to be the one that goes from 0 to 1.
Yes.
And not 1 to 100 million. Because if you go from 1 to 100 million, you are just replicating the 1. So all of those other ones are all just images and replications of this one.
Yeah.
When you go from 0 to 1, you create something that was never existent before you created it.
Yeah. There's a similar idea too, which is the idea of I think it's something about an ice cube, and I think it's an ice cube. Something about an ice cube, right? And that at the temperature that keeps it frozen, but then all it takes is a 1 degree to cause it to start melting it. Like you don't need to increase it 100 degrees to melt it. It's like that 1 degree will already cause it to melt.
Right.
And then it's like that same idea of not overextending or overdoing.
And it's the same idea that one act of kindness could make the difference, and one man can make a difference. It's the idea that gradual incremental changes does eventually lead to a larger noticeable and palpable transformation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Strawberries as romantic gifts. I found strawberries to be interesting because it's the first time that I've made this connection, for myself at least. Strawberries look like hearts.
Oh, yeah.
They look
do.
like the heart.
They have a point. Yeah, they
the
have.
actual heart with the top part with the ventricles. I think it's called ventricle. I don't know, guys. I'm a potato. But it looks like a heart. And it just, a lot of heart symbolism. And then Nick Fury turns to Tony Stark and said a very cryptic thing to him. Says that find the answers to your heart. Like the way it's scripted and written is interesting. And then a lot of heart symbolism. So Iron Man is a hero of the heart.
Yeah, and find the answers to your heart, right? But his heart is kind of somewhat replaced by this thing, right? And so
by his intellect.
And so that was so layered, because it's finding the answers to your heart, like the emotional aspects, but then it's also finding the answers to your arc reactor for him. It's finding the answers that he would end up finding, which is how to make this allow him to sustain life.
And the way that he accomplishes that is through the love of the Father, which is the love of God.
Yeah.
Because it's a posthumous kind of aiding, right? So it's a guide that comes posthumously from the other world, from the other side. This voice comes and then delivers to the prophet, to Iron Man, the information necessary in order to move the people forward and to save the people from themselves, essentially.
Yeah. Exactly.
So strawberries as romance gifts was cool. Looking for answers in the past. It's very ironic, and we already touched on it. Stark Tech destroys father's legacy at the Stark Expo. And that was the last one.
What?
I'm trying to make sure that there's nothing else that. Well, we'll like probably like talk more. Like, there's Iron Man 3, and there's like so many movies, like Marvel movies ahead of us, that I'm just gonna play it by ear and by feeling. I don't want to try to dissect things when we're in this state. I feel like only what really like pops out to us, because that's what will make this reaction unique.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, we'll definitely talk about it more. I don't really have that much. I forgot who said this in the beginning. All I can give you is my knowledge.
Oh, that was Ivan's father.
Oh, all I can give you is my knowledge.
Which is all that Tony Stark's father gave him, and it's all he needed.
Mm-hmm. And that's interesting too, right? Because I'm not going to justify him being like an absent kind of dismissive father to Tony Stark, because that's obviously had its effect on him, and that's why he's had to develop the persona that he's developed, and puts on the exterior that he puts on. But I will say that him telling him leaving that message that my greatest creation was you, right? And then this idea of like what he leaves behind for him, I think that is not something to ignore, you know, like it's a testament of his love, except sometimes it's not the love that we are hoping that we receive.
Yeah. I get exactly what you're saying. Like, parenting, which we've been talking a lot about parenting because we've been healing our own personal journeys. But parenting in general, I feel like each person has their ideal scenario in terms of like, oh, like with my kids, I'm never going to hit my kids. I'm never going to scream at my kids. I'm never going to do this with my kids. I'm never going to do this to them, because it was done to me, and I don't want to replicate that, and I don't. But then you have the opposite spectrum, which is people who just are unconsciously going through life, and they don't really confront these demons and these traumas, and so they inevitably replicate what they know.
Yeah.
And what they know is what they experienced and what they saw, and so the abused becomes the abuser, and so the cycle replicates itself into infinity until one person decides that enough is enough, and I'm going to put my foot down, and I'm going to put an end to this. And that's the generational curse breaking aspect of awakening, right? Like, awakening is just coming to realization. But then my point is that everybody has their idea of what the ideal parent is. But when you have kids, which we can't really speak on because we don't have kids, but when we do, I can only imagine like what we're going to go through and what we're going to experience. It's going to be a trip of its own. But from what I have now and understanding, I know that my parents have a different understanding, and that everybody comes into being without knowing anything, and everybody creates life without knowing how to nurture it.
Yeah.
Because we're not taught how to nurture life. Like, we're taught in school things about like objective facts and analysis and like how to view the world in this material world, but we aren't taught how to really raise a child and how to connect with each other and how to love each other. Like, we're not taught that. But to your point, that is his form of showing love for his child.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have that. A lot of people have emotionally unavailable parents. A lot of people have parents who are seemingly absent, but in reality, they're just putting in 60 plus hours a week in order to provide their sons and their daughters with a decent living, with a decent school, college. So the heroism is present in a lot of parents, even when it seems like they're the antagonist, even when it seems like they're the villains in our stories. You know, maybe they're just fighting battles that they keep private and then they keep to themselves, and they're self-sacrificing. So like, those are the best parents. It's those that dedicate their life work to their children. And that's what God did, right? Like that's what God does in every angle that you look at it, in every country, in every religion, in every, you know?
Yeah. And I think that like that point is really interesting because it's like it's so funny that we, for example, like with romance, with like a romantic relationship, people really focus on like the 5 love languages, right? Which is like physical touch, words of affirmation, what is it? Gift giving, acts of service, and quality time, right? Those are the 5. But then those things don't get applied to like other relationships, because why is it that only in a romantic relationship someone can have a certain love language, but then in other relationships, like let's say with like parental love, that it can't be the same thing?
Right.
It's that, why is it that there's this idea that it needs to be this specific way? Because that doesn't make sense. Like everybody is individualistically like experiences their own life and grows into their own kind of patterns and person that they become based on their experiences. And so it's not a one size fits all.
And the audacity of humans assuming and asserting that they've not only understood love, but they've established the definitive 5 languages for that thing.
Yeah.
It's like we don't understand love.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what love is, and that's what Interstellar explores, is that love is the one thing that can survive through a black hole. It's the one thing, like love is everything. God is love.
Yeah, like love is inexplicable, you know? It
you can't
really
define
is.
it.
So you can't say that just doing an act of service is love, because love is not the act of service. It's the thing beneath it. So it's like love is the thing that you can't define.
Love is the thing that leads you to wanting to do an act of service.
Exactly. Like that's just the action.
It's the underpinning of it.
Yeah, upon the actual thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that it's just very interesting. But to your point, like just like you're saying, it can be the case where, for example, in this scenario of like 5 love languages, which is absurd, but in this scenario, you can have a parent that really values quality time, which you see there are families where it's like they spend a lot of time together as a family and they sit down and they do things together and it's like a bonding experience. And then there's the parents who are the acts of service parents, which is the working parents and the parents who maybe aren't as like active and don't really play as much of an active role in the sense of like bonding and emotional care, but they completely take care of you in the ways that's necessary and in the ways that they can. And so that's what we see with like Tony Stark and his father. Like instead of him taking that moment when his son is like, you know, messing with the thing on the table and kind of like, you know, embracing him and like just sharing a loving moment with his son, he dismisses him.
Yeah.
But it's because he's so focused on the work that he has like the bigger picture in his brain that he needs to execute upon to ensure the future of his son.
And that's also to say that people usually get so preoccupied with the outcome of their pursuit of showing and expressing love, which is spending your whole life producing this work for your child, that when the child and the person that you're doing all this for comes in and interrupts you in that process, you get annoyed at the child instead of embracing the child while you're still here, going through all of the phases of development of the child. I feel like that's where people mess up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially like parents who abandon children. I think that that's just how do I say that? That's the inability to think of anything other than yourself. So it's the inability to self-sacrifice. Because if you love your child, then you're gonna soldier it through. Like you're gonna just I can't speak. You're going to just stick it through. Like you're gonna stay and you're gonna, no matter how shitty the marriage is, no matter how shitty the predicament is, the situation, the living situation, no matter how many jobs you have to deal with.
Yeah.
You look at your child and you gain motivation from that because you love your child and you're supposed to love your child. But the act of abandoning, I feel like that's the opposite of love.
Yeah, because it's like in some at least in some capacity, like I think that there's this like misconception of needing to be a perfect parent, but sometimes it's just the presence,
Yeah.
It's just like
holding space together. I feel like, especially as children, I feel like children need consistency and they need stability.
Yeah.
No, it's because I'm like,
it's okay.
it's because I'm like tired. That's why.
God.
Like I swear, it's like all these lights, like they make my eyes dry.
Oh yeah, sure it is. It's okay.
It's definitely that.
But it's crazy because even what you're saying, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, like you left all this behind for me and that's all fine and dandy, but like what if that's like I didn't really what if I didn't ask for that? Like what if I would have traded it all for
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And that's why I think it's messed up. So I don't believe in that. I think that when you have kids, you're present with your kids and you do as much as you can to be present.
Yeah, because it I don't know, like it hurt me even watching Tony just, his spiraling behaviors. It's, it's definitely.
It's a cry for help for sure.
Yeah. But that's why I think that it's really nice that he's like garnering and fostering this relationship with someone who genuinely cares for him and is a presence in his life in that way.
Yeah.
That he didn't get. As a child from his father. Okay, so I'm almost done, literally. I just thought it was funny that the senator's name is Stern. I'm like,
Stern,
yeah, he's a stern guy, all right.
A stark contrast between the two.
He's stern, all right.
And Tony's the opposite of stern. He's so unserious.
He's so he is. He's very adaptable. Like you can throw him in any situation and he'll know how to kind of like pivot around it. And that's why when Justin Hammer tries to bombard him at that, I forgot where they were. It was right before the race. Mm-hmm. He ends up making turning the script and making him look like the fool.
Yeah. And I was just going to mention a thing too on how it's interesting because it shows that in order for one to achieve true success, one has to have that free spirit. And then it contrasts Tony with Rhodey. Rhodey is, again, someone who is more stern, takes life too seriously, wants too much structure, isn't really comfortable with chaotic environments, needs everything to be tidy, tuck your bed, make your bed in the morning. Tony is kind of like, do you want to just go to Italy? Do you want to just go to France? You want to just disappear and just go do something? You want to just throw a party? You want to just do so? That's the essence of existence, in my opinion, is the intuition.
Yeah.
So if you're in tune with intuition, then you understand that you're in tune with a chaotic way of life. If you resist your own intuition, you do that and it manifests itself as overtly structuring everything and trying to have too much control over the outcome of everything. And that's why when you go into the military, they even treat time as this thing that's punctual. It's you are a servant and you are subservient to time. It's you are a slave to time.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Meet here at 0400 hours, at whatever minutes, at whatever seconds. It's dude, relax.
I know.
You're all going to disappear in 80 years, in 50 years. You're all going to be gone. So am I. So you know what? I'm going to hop into my convertible Audi. I'm going to go do whatever I want to do. And
exactly.
bye-bye, kiss, and goodbye.
But I really like Tony Stark. I really do. I feel
like him a lot.
Even though he has that arrogant kind of nature, I think that there's something it's the understanding of the layers and complexity of individuals, and that's why again I feel like I've been comparing the two because they're just very similar, but I think it's the same thing with Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne, yeah.
Except that he's a little bit less like outwardly charismatic, and like I think that he's like a little bit more level-headed, and that's why he stays more in the shadows and doesn't like overtly kind of put himself out there. I
feel like Bruce Wayne is more sensitive.
Yeah.
He's more emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are emotional, but you can see that like both of them have different coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
But they're both geniuses. Like that's undeniable. And they're both wealthy, but Bruce Wayne has a public persona, and he treats it and recognizes it as a mask and as not being who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's able to throw parties and pretend that he's this like clumsy playboy, rich guy who doesn't really know anything, daddy's money. But then behind the scenes is when he does his work. So he likes to keep his inner development to himself and his journey, his ascension journey out of the hole, out of the pit to himself. And he doesn't have to display it to the world. He doesn't have to be on the news.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tony Stark is, I think, running away probably on like a deeper level because he seeks out the mask and he uses the mask and he relies on the mask, and the mask is all he's known.
And maybe it's like filling the void of that emptiness, you know? And so like that's what it is, except that Bruce Wayne kind of does it a little bit more, just like you're saying, it's like more to himself, like just more
somberly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Bruce Wayne, when I think of Bruce Wayne, I think of depression. And when depression as the side effect of genius, which is usually the case too, like most geniuses are depressed. And then Tony Stark, another sign of genius is humor.
Mm-hmm.
Like well-humored people.
Yeah.
Like Einstein was known for always cracking jokes and always like being well-humored.
It's like hyper creativity too. It's like it's that childlike essence, you know? It's
because you uncover the absurdity of life, and when you're facing the absurd, you have you just have to laugh at it.
Yeah, you can't take it seriously
because you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like when you have no control and you can't do anything about life, then you start laughing at it.
Yeah, because yes,
it's funny.
That's why again with the Harry Potter, it's like everything has the same kind of messages. It's like the spell that they cast, the ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's like that's what you do in the face of your fears, because it's like it's funny. It's like when you realize how absurd it really is.
And Harry feared fear itself.
Yeah.
Which Lupin said was very wise.
Yeah.
That he didn't fear anything specifically. Yeah.
Oh man, it's like all the same message. I don't know who said this, that created a sword and insists it's a shield. I think it was Justin Hammer.
Justin Hammer during his presentation.
And he was talking about the Stark Industries and saying that they created a sword and they insist that it's a shield, right? I think that's like obviously a metaphor. I think that creating the sword is what Tony's father did, Howard Stark. I think that he created the sword. He was the one kind of engineering like this whole thing with the weapons and stuff and with the Stark Industries and what he created. But then Tony Stark is the one that's going to change it and make it into a shield and has been transforming it into a shield.
And he's being assisted by S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's like he's literally, yeah, exactly. So that's also, it's like all like little hints too. It's like just dropped in there. But I think that it's exactly that. It's like how you use the weapons, right? So it's how you use, a lot of it is about how you use your, like, it's about motives and how you use your abilities and your skills, kind of, right? And so you can either use it for destructive purposes or you can use it for productive purposes and for great, like good.
For good or evil.
Yeah, for good or evil. And so we see that with the characters, and we see that with like Stark Industries itself. It's like it's either going to be used to destroy or it's going to be used to protect. It's like to serve and protect and for better, you know? Blood toxicity, the device keeping you alive is killing you, which we talked about.
In the meantime, if you made it up until this point, please let us know by commenting deep end. And also, I'm going to leave a question, I think, towards the end of every video. What is your relationship with death? That's the prompt. And you could write as big of a response to that. You could write multiple essays, and I will be reading it.
Yeah.
Because I want to know, like, what is your relationship with death?
Yeah.
Just that go.
That's a great question. I want to read some of those too. I thought that it was interesting that Justin Hammer, he refers to Tony Stark as Anthony. And it's kind of like I don't know, like it's a lot of things, I think. I think it's him trying to destroy this persona that he's created for himself because he identifies himself as Tony Stark. So it's like it's part of his persona, and then him calling him Anthony is him kind of poking holes in it. It's like, no, you're not Tony, you're not like cool guy Tony, you're Anthony. It's like, you know, it's like a more formal kind of name.
I think he's trying to poke at his weak points, which is his parents.
Yeah, that too is what I was gonna say. It's like it's so layered. It's like, and then on top of it, it's kind of addressing him on like a first name basis to hit him in a weak spot.
And it's weird because during the Monaco scene, Justin Hammer was giving the interview and he was painting himself as being best buds with Tony Stark on the public front.
Yeah.
And I think it's this idea of greatness through association. It's like he wants to be great by associating himself with Tony, and then that could hopefully maybe get him laid, which is what he even said. Like, I might get laid. This guy's a billionaire.
Dude.
And if he had any, like he could, in theory, just like Tony, like easily, right? But then it's like he is very insecure, I feel, of himself. And he's constantly seeking some out externally. Like getting a 25-year contract with the Pentagon, he thinks would solve all his problems.
Yeah.
But that's the illusion.
And what's interesting is that his confidence, like his perceived confidence, is an illusion. It's like a facade. Yeah. He doesn't really have confidence, but he portrays himself to have confidence. And then Tony, it's like it's just second nature. And I think that confidence is the ultimate, or one of the ultimate things that you can have in this life. It's like it's a gift to be confident in yourself in a way that no one can push you over. You're sure of yourself. You're like, you have an undeniable certainty about like who you are. And
bulletproof.
Yeah, it's like exactly. And iron, right? It's like iron is a metal that's known for being like succumbing, like not succumbing, but like it can withstand great force, like great pressure. And that's why a lot of things that are like, there are a lot of things that are made out of steel, which is derived from iron. It's like buildings, cars, everything we know that withstands a lot of great force, like that is the foundation for a lot of things, is made out of iron.
Yeah.
And that's why he's Iron Man. It's like he's literally an unyielding force.
And then it's him just trying to reconcile those differences with his humanity and the technology and the iron, because then he has to meet the indestructible nature of the iron.
Yeah.
His human self has to rise to the state of iron.
Yeah, exactly.
But then the iron self also has to melt to the state of humanity. And that's why he has to use his iron exterior, his exoskeleton, which is one and the same. Like it's Tony Stark is Iron Man and Iron Man is Tony Stark, and he said it himself, then it's the integration of these two aspects. It's the exterior with the interior. And that's why when he opens his shirt is when you see what's actually happening inside. But then the irony is that what's killing him is what's keeping him alive, alive enough to upkeep the persona and the projection of this superhero self.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be a superhero.
Yeah.
But he got himself in that pickle because of his choices, and then it goes back to karma and legacy. He became Iron Man not because of choice. He didn't wake up one day and decide that I want to be a superhero. He had to elevate himself to the standard of superheroism in order to guarantee his survival and ultimately the survival of his legacy, which is his company. So that his company is his child, that's his baby, and that's why he gives his child to
the
Pepper,
person he entrusts in it the most.
right, to his love interest. He hands over his child, and that's why it's a big moment. Even though it's still very corporate, it's still very, structured in this material world, but it's very spiritual in its essence because it's his child. It's like he entrusted it. Like he became Iron Man in order to save it, and now he's giving you it.
And speaking of that, right, like the suit and the man, right? If you think of cause you talk about alchemy a lot. If you think about this, right, the idea of alchemy is turning base metals into gold, but then it's the spiritual and the spiritual aspect of that.
Yeah.
So imagine this. Iron Man, right? Which is this, what I said, it's like iron is a metal that it's like it withstands a lot of great force. And I think that that's a metaphor for how stubborn Tony's personality could be when it comes to that internal and spiritual evolution, right? And so he has to do that work internally, the transformation and the purification of his intentions and his purpose and stuff in order for him to I don't know how I was going to word this, but in order for him to be as unyielding as the suit. Like his character has to become that. Yeah. But I think it's interesting. And then the reason I'm connecting it too is that this suit had the shape of a triangle in it, which the other previous ones were just the circle or just the circle or just the circle. But this one was in the shape of a triangle, and the suit itself was a triangle this time and not a circle. And that's I don't know about the upside down triangle, but the triangle itself is the chemical symbol for change, delta, right?
Delta, yeah.
And he literally creates a new element. And so it's change. Change is what happened.
That's great.
It's like a whole connection.
And it has 3 points, which is the Trinity.
Yes.
And the Trinity is what's represented in the embodiment of the sun.
And the arc reactor, right? Or when he was creating it, at least, right? When he sparks the laser at it, it was a triangle within a circle. And isn't that part of the Philosopher's Stone?
Yeah.
It's like part of it, though. So it's interesting. It's like it is like all very much connected and all very much the same concept.
And it's funny too, because I think that the ultimate testament of his love to any woman would be to hand over his legacy for that woman to kind of help morph and shape.
Yeah.
So that's the commitment that you make, is that when you find your soulmate, you have to, in my opinion, you have to include those you love in your process of becoming whole, becoming who you are working so hard to become. So you're doing all this work and all this growth and all this understanding, and you're gaining all this wisdom, but then you find someone who can help you manage the legacy. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because when his father was on camera doing his presentation and Tony popped up behind him, he kind of yelled at his wife, Maria, at Tony's mom, and told her to come and fetch this, like come and get Tony. It's like come and get him, like get him out of here. So he was closed off to his family and his loved ones being involved in what he was doing. And then Tony is the opposite. He involves everyone. He involves his best friend, gives him the suit, lets him lend it, allows him into a sanctuary. I think that the scenes where they all put a passcode into his glass dome, right? I think that that's also symbolic. I think he gives his friends access to his heart, to his place of creation, to his favorite place on earth, which is where he makes all of his progress and all of his work. Whereas his father was the opposite, kicked him out, like kicked everybody out. It's like, stay out of my legacy.
And that's interesting too. Like the glass part is interesting because if you look at like a lot of the rooms and a lot of the infrastructure, most of it is made out of glass. And I think that that's symbolic of what Tony resembles because he will lay himself bare to whatever comes at him.
Yeah, whatever. He's not hiding anything.
It's like the concept of like living in a glass house. It's like don't cast any stones if you live in a glass house. But
he lives in a glass
but
house.
he lives in a glass house and he's completely ready to take whatever shot is taken at him, kind of thing, you know, because he has nothing to be afraid of in that sense. Like he pretty much puts himself out there,
lays himself
bare.
bare.
Like vulnerably, physically or whatever. It's like just, you know, just like you know what I mean, just puts himself out there.
Just lays himself bare.
But yeah, that's interesting. Let me see, I'm almost done. Didn't tell me, his father didn't tell me he loved me. He was very calculative, which we already like talked about that. And then I wonder if that's all I have. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I guess I was just gonna say that the last thing, I guess, is the idea of his character, just because I'm really fascinated by it, is that his worst qualities, which we see, like him being a drunk and him being, not a drunk, but him having like self-sabotaging behaviors rather, or self-destructive tendencies, especially in the face of like pressure and conflict going on. And then also his great qualities, which is his charismatic nature. I think that it's like one of those things where we relate to the worst aspects of him, in terms of like, I think a lot of people can relate to that. It's like that when times are tough, you know, kind of being self-sabotaging, like mentally self-sabotaging ourselves and spiraling. And then also a lot of us can relate to the idea of wanting to be charismatic people and wanting to be kind of having that like surety of ourselves and having that confidence and having, you know, that kind of like unstoppable feeling about ourselves. So what I was going to say is that what I like about his character is that the worst parts of him are what we can relate to, like the worst, the flaws, and then the great parts of him are what we can aspire towards.
Yeah.
It's like it's and he's and like the fact that it's like it's just so crazy because he doesn't come off as, I mean, he does come off as a very privileged person, but the fact that he is highly intellectual, like for himself, is like already makes it, you know, respectable.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like he just has a silver spoon handed to him and doesn't have like any.
Yeah, that's the will to power.
Yeah.
It's that you seek power for the sake of overcoming yourself instead of domination of externalities. Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. like I just really like it. It's cool. It's fun. It's like it's really layered.
It's definitely fun.
I think that my only critique maybe is that I wish that it dove a little bit deeper into the emotional aspects of it.
Yeah,
but
I didn't feel inclined to cry or anything like that. Like I didn't really have any emotional moment yet. I don't know if I had it with the first one or the set or Hulk. Definitely not with this one. But like what I'm hoping is that over time, as we develop through, like find our way through Marvel, that we'll like grow to have a bigger, like a closer familiarity with these characters. Because what did it for me with Harry Potter was just the consistency in terms of the universe, right?
Yeah.
So the more movies we watch, like once we get to the end of everything, like when we do get to the end of everything, I'm sure that we'll have like a completely different understanding of everything and a different emotional weight. Because think about how many pieces of content tie into this universe, into this web of just it's insane. Like that's why we got this book, because I have to keep track of everything because I have a bad memory. So I have to like try to but yeah, the emotional aspects was kind of not really there, but there was a lot of comedic payoffs.
And a lot of like, I mean, the visuals are amazing. Like they definitely hit the nail on the head with the whole like fast-paced kind of like entertainment value of like everything going on. Like I thought that the whips looked great. I thought like the scenes with the cars look great. It's like even if it is CGI or isn't, I don't know, but it all looks pretty great. And it's fun to watch. Like I didn't take as many notes for this one because of that fact, like because of the kind of like it was like more immersive in the way of like you losing yourself versus you like really thinking a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It
doesn't really let you sulk in the scenes.
Yeah.
The scenes are more fast paced, which is what I was gonna say too, is that it set the pace very early on, and it starts and opens up with a death, and then the whole thing is about coping with death and loss and coping with those who aren't here anymore and coping with your finite existence here.
Yeah.
And so the whole like Monaco scene shows that even when he's inside of this affluent space where Elon Musk is there, Justin Hammer, you can see that nobody is really present. Nobody is really enjoying themselves. Everybody's so preoccupied with making connections. Even the richest man on the planet today, I think it is Elon Musk. In this film, which is funny because it aged perfectly, it's like he's talking about new ideas. Like I have a good idea for an electric jet or something, he says. And so everybody's still trying to, like nobody sits still. And that's what it shows, is that life is fast. Life happens to you fast. And the moment you notice, it might be too late.
Yeah. And it's like adaptability, which we see with like all of the characters kind of. It's like, you know, Pepper adapting to the role of like a CEO now, and like she has to adapt in that way. And then this new, I don't know, Natasha, if that's her real name, or Natalie, but Natasha, I think is her real name.
Natasha, yeah.
But her adaptability of like, you know, kind of being a double agent, like kind of being an insider, outsider type of thing.
Even his driver who has the duty of being his chauffeur, had to adapt to beating people up and to facing enemies and getting his hands dirty, punching someone.
Yeah.
So everybody had to adapt. But then one thing that's interesting is that Justin Hammer, at the end, when he's under the pressure and under the spotlight and under scrutiny, he just stands there ordering other people to solve his problems.
Exactly.
And then meanwhile, Iron Man and Rhodey, War Machine and Iron Man, are flying off and dealing with the problems that this guy started. And that's why he goes to jail.
But I think that that's why, he's definitely a miserable person because of like the whole thing, like comparison is the thief of joy.
Absolutely.
It's like, and he's just comparing himself to Tony, and what's crazy is that if he just allocated more of his time to kind of strengthening whatever skill sets he has, then he wouldn't feel like he's living in the shadow of someone else.
Right, because he has a successful company.
Exactly.
He is wealthy. He has achieved significant presence within that space, and he could kind of sulk in his glory and just fade off into the sunset, but he chooses to live actively mentally in Tony Stark's shadow.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because it is a choice. And then Ivan, he's someone who is somewhat halfway through his journey, where he has his coping mechanisms of dealing with his anger issues, of staying present, but he himself is on a journey of learning how to let go.
Mm-hmm.
So even when he loses, he kind of like learns how to let go now because he's dealing with loss. And so his superpower is that he has nothing to lose because he's become desensitized to the act of losing anything.
Mm-hmm. I think that's exactly it. It's like that he had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And so that's why he was like very nonchalant about it all. Because Justin Hammer seemed more like hungry to like take Tony down than Ivan did, and he wanted to kill Tony. So it's like it's crazy.
It is.
But it's like the actual like, you know, driving force, like you can tell that he was a little bit more like more accepting of not having anything to lose, like you said. So even if it did result in him losing his own life, then he was willing to gamble that, like willing to gamble that away. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy because he didn't have anything.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. But yeah, anyways, like this was fun, and I'm really excited to watch the next one, and then it's going to be Thor, and it's funny that...
So the next one is Thor?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is, because I checked the sequence. I've been like tracking like what our next like sequence of this MCU is.
Yep. So Thor is the next one, and we are also going to be watching other films too, like individual, like one-offs, different directors, getting back into Christopher Nolan, getting back into different directors in general, but always kind of keeping up with like Marvel. So consistently keeping up with a more consistent basis.
Yeah. And it's funny because of the Justin Hammer, and it was like a little subtle nod, like everything is a little nod, like
it's a foreshadow. Yeah,
when you start putting it all together, then the hammer and the end credits, it's funny.
Anyways, anything else?
No, that's it. I can tell you're tired.
No, yeah, like we're both tired. So it's 2:24 right now a.m. We're gonna call it here. I feel like towards the end, like we have to feel it out so that we know when to call it, because otherwise if we just keep talking, then we're just going to like fade into nothingness. So we're going to keep whatever we forgot. We'll obviously address it in the next Marvel movie or in the next Iron Man movie. There's Iron Man 3. And we will keep up with everything as best as we can. I have been keeping all of my notes just so you guys can see. I think I've definitely shown it before, but these are all my notes from every single reaction video. So there's a total of however many reaction videos we have on the channel. That's how many notes I have here. And I will be putting the Marvel ones in a separate space. And then before every reaction, I'm going to go over my old notes for every single movie up until that point, and then go from there and then resume.
Yeah, sounds good.
So with that being said, guys, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this reaction, this discussion, let us know by dropping a like, subscribing if you haven't already, turning on the notification bell, and sharing this with any Marvel fans that you may know of. Please keep the comment section spoiler free. That's what we ask, because we want to keep this as fresh and like genuine as we possibly can, and just not, like do that. But with that being said, comment deep end, don't forget, and answer my question, please.
Yeah, about, I will be say it again for...
what is your relationship with death? Comment below. And with that being said, don't forget that it's never wrong
to be mentally gone. Peace to the world.
I'm going to go sleep now.
Good night. And then let's just sign it off with this.
Where's the controller? I don't know where the controller is. Where is it? Where is it? I misplaced the arc reactor. What? I don't have a controller.
Oh well. That's all.
See you guys. Peace out.